I'm gonna pull the whole thing down. I'm gonna bring the whole fucking diseased, corrupt temple down on your head. It's gonna be biblical.
Hey everyone, welcome to Patriots Across the Pond and Friends, and we're here today, Friday Deeper Dives with Jason Q, episode 16. Wow.
I know.
How are you? It's been a while. It's been a minute.
It's going. It's going. A lot better now than the past month and a half.
Yeah.
You weren't here for the last one, Lisa, so we had a bit of a boys' chat on the last one, which was quite nice. But Dina, Jason, Dina's home, isn't she? How's that
yes,
now?
She is. Awesome.
Good.
Awesome.
That's good to hear. Good to hear. So there's an awful lot going on, and we've just been talking about all these Rupert Lowe and this rape gang scandal coming out in the UK, which is a necessary thing. It's just something else that, you know, being a truther, it's really touching on ourselves. Do you know what I mean? The more you dig into this shit, the more you find out, the more fucking righteous anger you want to show to these people, these criminals and perpetrators and stuff. But yeah, it's a necessary thing. It's not really for us to read and stuff. It's for the normies, ad normies, as we like to call them now.
Yep.
Yeah. But you've been digging into that, Jason, haven't you?
Man, that I had to step away from that.
Yeah.
No, fam. No. Nope. No, you know what? This is systemic. And you know what? The UK and Ireland, I mean, you literally have the Catholics and Protestants coming together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like honey badgers making nice with lions.
Yeah.
I mean, but there has to be something that people stand on.
Do you think that's the point though? The fact that we know most of these religions have been to divide people, and the whole point of this White House operation is to get rid of all these fucking dividing religions and to ultimately bring we the people back together, you know, throughout, you know, all these things that have been going on.
Well, I mean, if this doesn't tell you that you need a complete overthrow of the UK government, I don't know what does. I mean, you have all the Metropolitan Police involved, how they're portraying all the victims as criminals, and the teachers were allowing it. And I mean, no, because it's once you rape somebody, you murdered that person inside. Yeah. That's it. Because then now they can't trust any man. So now they can't be in a meaningful relationship with anybody because you let that happen. Because, well, we don't need any more, white Christians run around, do we? No, not at all. You don't want people fighting for your country. No. They want everybody just to. be subservient because, well, it seems that City of London and England don't know how to manage their finances. So every time they get in trouble, they go back to Israel and they're like, oh, what can we do? Every time. You had after World War I, you had after World War II. Now you have it with, 2014 that Israel was teamed up with the UN to have this mass migration in the UK and now Europe. And the thing is, you can't say that they're, what do they say? They're like refugees or seeking asylum. You can only seek asylum from one country over. Hence, the UK and Ireland are islands. You can't go to the UK or Ireland and claim asylum. Nowhere in Europe can you. But they made it happen. It's just like the old Balfour Declaration. They went broke after World War I. So, hey, could we get some money? So, yeah, here's mandatory Palestine. And then what happened after World War II? That British India project over there. Let's give it to the communists.
I mean, the UK is definitely being set up for a massive public disclosure and fall. This British Empire has been out a tiny little. You look at where I'm from on a map in relation to Africa or America or anything like that, and this little island has been out and raped and fucking pillaged the world.
Yep.
Through control of money, etc.
But we do know that this could just be the tip of the iceberg. Like, first we had Epstein, right? Now we have this going on in the UK. This is going to show a world, like worldwide. And I was telling earlier on a show that we did with Red Pilling Renee, I was watching, sometimes you're on YouTube, like I put it on to listen to music at night, but then like when the music ends, like it goes into a video.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden there was a video on about just going through like the New York and how it was settled. And it was, they created this video using AI by putting all these like facts and census and all this kind of stuff. But what was very interesting is that they were talking about how the trade routes started, to increase, right? That's what built New York. And they were talking about, that, like all the things that were coming over. And they very specifically in this video said slaves. And they weren't just referring to Africans. Like they were talking about human slaves. And what I never heard was that a lot of these people, what people don't know about slavery is that maybe not our, like the typical South that we're talking about, or maybe yes, but they mean like, eons of slavery was not for like labor. It was for sex. And it was like when you would go visit someone like an elite or whatever, they would give you a slave for you to like rape and do whatever you want with. So I found it really interesting that was part of this historic thing on New York, that all that shit is just being talked about very, just like they were trading furs and all this other stuff. And I believe that they are letting this come out at a pace that people can digest because it's going to be the world.
And it all goes back to Judaism. Because everybody's like, oh, the slavery, oh, reparations. Like, we got to pull a hard stop on that. Because after the black slavery, then you had the Irish white slavery.
Yep.
You had the white sex slavery for the women and children. And that was around, late 1890s, 1900s. And isn't it funny? That's the same time that Theodore Roosevelt got in office. Because everybody's like, oh, Teddy Roosevelt is so great. No, he wasn't. Not at all. That's when the orphan trains began. They started shipping everybody out west, whether they had a parent or not.
But that's a very interesting rabbit hole because supposedly, allegedly, they were trying to rewrite our entire history. So they put a lot of these parents in mental institutions. They were crazy. They stole the kids, right? They shipped them so they could program them, right? They have no history. They could give them and then there's that whole Cabbage Patch thing where they were growing the kids. What's that about?
And you look at the stuff now, it's almost like they were doing it back then with the incubators, and it's like,
yes.
When you start looking at that, it's like, what is this? Where do we come from? We know that, a lot of people came from Europe and everything, but it's like, what brought this like evil into this? I mean, going through that whole, the whole like Lillian Wald and all this, the United States Children's Bureau, it dips to the USO, it goes to the Salvation Army. It's like all these Salvation Army, Red Cross, like all these, they were created just to move kids.
Yeah. Every organisation that pretends to be good is pretending to be good on false preferences because that is their cover, pretty much.
Yeah, because they were like, oh, well, we need child labor laws. Why do you have kids working anyways? I mean, that's a form of slavery. I mean, that's
especially where they were working. Like if you look in New York, by the way, if you get a chance, I'll try to put those videos up. Obviously, it's AI generated, right? But I couldn't believe because I knew the tenements were bad. You know what I'm saying? But I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Like it was just like, how did these people survive? And when you think about, like, even if you look at when my little girls, when they were younger, we used to read the American Girl doll. They had like some movies, and one of them takes place in, it's either the 18 or the early 1900s. And the little girl is orphaned. Her parents both die. And she's like, I have to go get a job. And she's working in a fucking factory like 12 hours a day. Like, how is that even allowed?
Yeah. And how are their parents, how are all these parents dead? Because when we went through it and all, they even said it in here. They were like, hey, they were taking the kids regardless if they had parents or not. They just use plausible deniability. Well, they're not well. They're not well. They need help. They're not right in the head.
Yeah, well, that was a big one to separate and put, and because they knew the truth of society and the history and all that, so they had to kill that off so that they could rewrite the entire history.
The original conspiracy theorists. They were the OGs. And now look. Now they want to build these camps. Oh, we need re-education. Oh, just wait. That's all getting flipped. Because all these data centers, I mean, today is a special day, right? They called off the Geneva signing. Well, why would they? They're like, oh, yeah, Vance isn't going to the Geneva signing. Well, because by a lot of emails that I've been reading from the like Haaretz and all that they send you and everything like that, you start thumbing through it, you're like, it's almost like to throw veiled threats to Rubio and to Vance. Because we know Vance is like LBJ 2.0. I mean, he is the Theodore Roosevelt. You have Trump as McKinley, Theodore Roosevelt, there's your Vance. Just like Kennedy. I mean, you can go. Shit, you could literally go like Gerald Ford. Or was it Nixon? Was Spiro Agnew. And he had Nelson Rockefeller. Yeah. Just like that. They put whoever they want in there, and then what happened to Nixon, right? Then you have JFK, LBJ. Then you have Trump's first term with Pence. But also, let's go back to Reagan and George H.W. Bush.
Right.
Because I think that's where a lot of this, right after Carter, and it merged in, because a lot of stuff Carter did, pure evil. But then you have George H.W. Bush coming in as vice president for 2 terms.
Yeah.
And then he runs for one term, and then he just passed off to Clinton. But they're all BFF hanging out. It's like, because why would he doesn't have to have that office. He's controlling it behind the scenes. So
I want to just ask you, because I don't really, like, of all the presidents in this modern era, I don't know that much about Carter, right? I just know the kind of more of the, he was ineffective and he did stupid things and all this nonsense. And, you know, he was just this peanut farmer, and he had this crazy brother, Billy. But can you educate us a little bit more about him? Because they kind of built him up as this pacifist, and, you know, he's just this Southern dummy, right? But what was really, how did he why did they appoint him? Where did he come from?
Well, literally, it all goes through that 1,000 points of light. Because the whole Habitat for Humanity, people think, oh, it's Habitat for Humanity, it's good. It's like, it's not.
Okay.
It's not. None of it was. It's almost like they placed Carter in there because when Carter was in there, you had the Senior Executive Service founded, you had the Department of Education, you had the Holocaust studies coming out, because they weren't teaching the Holocaust until 1962 in Israel. So they got the whole story out there, this whole fabricated story about it. Then they started telling them in 62. And then 17 years later, right in 79, because then they had to put it there, because what else happened in 79? You had the Iran, Iran coup.
Yeah.
Then you had what else was there in 79? You had the Jerusalem Conference on International Terrorism. That's one Bibi put on from July 2nd to 5th. And that was to create Islamic terrorism. Because he had such a hard on about his brother getting killed on July 4th, 76.
The 70 war raid.
No, in the Entebbe raid.
Entebbe.
Yeah. So it's like, well, why were they there in the first place? You know, well, why were you in, Uganda or Rwanda, whatever the hell that is? It's like, well, why? I mean, we know that they were wheeling and dealing that Project Vela about a rogue nuclear state being South Africa as well. So when they ask us about these rogue nuclear states, it's like, yeah, Israel, you got South Africa. I mean, who else? Ukraine? I mean, because they've been, and then you have Iran, which is a rogue nuclear state, because with the uranium, and they're like, oh, yeah, we might go in there and get the dust. It's like, they already got it. They already got all the information. Like, they have all the files, everything. So now, when it goes back to, because now it's so funny that the timing of this, sorry, is that today being, hold on a second.
Excuse me. We are certainly seeing a web of debauchery unravel.
Oh, yeah. Well, because what's today?
Now, what is special about the day? Because I keep hearing a lot of people saying, there's a lot of stuff in the Q drops and, oh, this is happening, that is happening. It's a big day today, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because you literally have the grant. Well, they had the whole thing with Obama and everybody in Chicago yesterday.
Oh, his library was opened?
Yeah.
Yeah, it opens today officially, right? So let's not take it as Juneteenth, right? Because the J is a 10 or a 1. So it's 119 today.
Oh, there you go. There's your 9/11.
Let me ask you something too about this holiday, right? Because it's a federal holiday. The schools are off, all this stuff. And it was proclaimed a holiday under the Biden administration. But that just screams military in some way, because we know he wasn't in control. So they set this up. Well, I don't know what the year was, 2022, 21, 22. I don't remember when they said, because I remember when my kids first had off from school. So What do you think is really behind this?
Division. It's like, well, they want to sit in and say, oh, for Black history. Now, it's like, where are you guys getting this Black history from? We're not even getting the truth of our history. So, I mean, we have to literally dig through countless piles just to even get a whiff of truth. So it's like, what are they teaching them in these Black historical colleges and all these Black Bouye run frats and sororities for them to come out turning completely militant? Because it's all Whitey's fault. It's all Whitey's fault. It's like, no. You need to go back and look and see who ran the slave ships.
Right.
Who did all that. Because one of the slave ships was owned by a Roosevelt. The Roosevelts were Jews. So by them saying, we haven't had a Jewish president, it's like, liar.
Now, what's their lineage? Like, in other words, you say they're Jewish. I didn't know that, but okay, right?
Yeah.
What's their lineage? Like, are they connected to the Rothschilds, to the Khazarians? Like, how did they? Because we've only heard they started in New York. They come from New York and they're bankers and they made their money. And you go out here on Long Island to Teddy Roosevelt's, summer house, and you could tour, and he's got the bay. You know what I mean? Like all that lore. Yeah,
lore is what it is. Building them up, because you hear everybody, like, I was watching that William. Well, actually, we were, and he's talking about the Bull Moose Party, right? Well, the Bull Moose Party is a third party in the United States formed in 1912 by former President Theodore Roosevelt after he lost the presidential nomination for the Republican Party to his former protege turned rival incumbent President William Howard Taft. Well, no shit, right? Because why would Taft be put in that place? His dad, William Howard Taft's father, Alphonse Taft, was one of the founders of Skull and Bones at Yale.
Yeah.
Really?
And William Howard Taft was he's the only person in history to serve as a president and a Supreme Court justice. So how do you get that? Right? But it's the new party was known for taking advanced positioning into progressive reforms. It was also ideologically deeply connected with America's radical liberal tradition. Now think of radical liberal. Think of like the Democratic Party now.
Right.
Now think of it like completely radicalized. Because remember, he took all the money from all the tariffs. He stopped that.
Who, Taft or Roosevelt? Taft?
Roosevelt. When after he got killed at the after he got shot at the World Fair, McKinley, and then he died like, it was like September 8th or September 9th. He got shot. Because it's all around that, right around that same, like there's certain days that they do their little sacrifices. And he died like, what was it, like a week or two later? Just because he didn't get necessary medical attention. Wow. A president not getting necessary medical attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, lie to us a little bit more. Because then with that came the creation of national parks.
I was just going to say he was conservation. For a conservationist, he certainly killed a lot of animals, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
It struck me a little funny, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah, just go out and just killing just to kill. Not for sustenance or anything like that. Oh, right. Let's shoot a giraffe. Well, why?
Right.
Why? An elephant. Why?
For a photo.
Yeah, for a photo.
Or to have it stuffed and display it in their house.
Yeah.
And then they closed remember that now that affects all these public lands that we can't go on anymore or don't own or, right?
But then that opens up when he talked about the USMCA, right? The whole US, Mexico, Canada, right? That's why he formed his first term, because what it did was it eliminated NAFTA. Because NAFTA, that ran right through the Mormon corridor. That's how they're moving kids. If you notice, out west, there are a lot more national parks.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more federal land that you can't take guns on. And that's some places you can't go into. Why? You know, it's like, then you have all these missing kids. So then if he's like, he used the USMCA to eliminate NAFTA. The USMCA was literally a Trojan horse because he cut down the trafficking corridor in the West. Because you know the Mormons are involved, because when they say that, oh, Bill Gates owns the most farmland in the United States, like, wrong. It's the Mormons. But what are the Mormons putting on these lands? Big cell towers. Imagine that. You know, I mean, weather manipulation towers. Because it gets a lot deep. Then you have the signing in Versailles on the 17th, which is ironic because it's only a mere 204 days from Versailles. And then we have...
Okay, wait, let me just ask you a question. This is really conspiratorial, but Roosevelt's wife, remember she died?
Which Roosevelt?
Teddy.
Okay.
His wife died, and he had the kids, and then they made like a lot of they made like a Broadway play, Alice, because his daughter was, like teenager and wild and, character and everything. But I don't know. It's really conspiratorial. Did she really die, or was she killed? Was it a sacrifice? Because there was a lot. His career seemed to...
Yeah. Sort of like that Wes Moore having his kid turn LGBTQ.
Who?
That Wes Moore, that governor in Maryland.
Oh.
Yeah, you have to make a sacrifice. Just like Dwayne Wade did with his kid. And
Magic Johnson.
Yep. All of them.
Let me ask you a question. In the last 120 years, how many US presidents have been on the side of good? Now, I know a lot of people obviously were controlled by the cabal potentially and had good intentions, but apart from JFK, Reagan potentially, and Trump, who else?
Well, I would say potentially Eisenhower. He was in the mix.
Eisenhower hung patting out the tryout in Europe. That's the one man that I have zero respect for. Zero. He screwed Patton over big time out in Europe. Him and MacArthur both.
Now,
you start tracing Eisenhower and his daughter Susan Eisenhower, yeah, and how deep state she is. It's like, with these lineages, I don't trust them. I just don't. Stop. Just as soon as no, I don't. No. Because it makes, and then he's like, the military industrial complex, the one you created. You could put a stop to all this too, Ike, but you didn't.
Well, but that could be a whole rabbit hole. We could get Laura on. She's done a lot of research into her family and a lot of what had publicly, and then what was going on, because that was the time when a lot of the Area 51, like all the stuff with the supposed alleged aliens and all of that. But clearly, when we look at now, we do look at Trump, Kennedy, and potentially Reagan. Although a lot of these, if you hear some of these victims claim that they were with, that Reagan was there.
Yeah, but I mean, even if Reagan had good intentions and all that, if he had Herbert Walker Bush as his vice president, he was being fucking undermined every step of the way.
Controlled. And then a lot of people say when he was shot, he was killed. So they put a 2.0 in there to do, that might have been the evil one. Do you know what I'm saying? That people saw, so to speak.
There was something with Reagan's assassination too. What was it? It was what was it? Oh, I think it was the Jewish Defense League that pulled it off. Because they said it was some lady. Some lady ran off with a dress, and she's like, yeah, we got him. Because remember, they blamed
Hinckley.
They blamed Hinckley, and he didn't do it.
His obsession with Jodie Foster and that whole weird thing.
I mean, then how does that get to Reagan?
Right.
You know,
they figured they did something, but obviously, in my opinion, he was some kind of mind control to do that, to be set up as a patsy. And then it was interesting because also the Pope was shot around the same time. They were working together for, to take down Russia. Like, that is so vague as far as what really went on.
Yeah, I mean, it's, and you look at all the, different assassination attempts. And they're like, oh, yeah, well, they tried to assassinate Ford, too. It's like...
Oh, that girl.
To get Rockefeller in.
Who was that girl? That one that... I can't think of her name.
How old?
Yeah.
How old?
The one that was trying to kill Ford.
Ford.
Oh, I can't. She had a weird name.
Yeah, I think she came from California, too. From that whole, just crazy, the whole civil rights and the Berkeley crew.
Yeah.
These people are just out of their minds. I mean, when you start, they're lunatics.
Sarah Jane Moore.
She had like a strange
Sarah
name.
Jane Moore.
Doesn't sound familiar. Squeaky from Sacramento. Supposedly she was a follower of the Charles Manson cult, but we know now that he...
Yeah, it was two women, wasn't it? I just read out the first name there. Yeah.
And supposedly now we're hearing, was he in the CIA, part of the CIA? Like, that whole thing is very sketchy. He wasn't just a lunatic running a cult.
Yeah. And also, the funny thing is that you look at the timing of JFK, right?
Yeah.
Because JFK, devout Roman Catholic, right? What do Roman Catholics believe? That Israel, that they cheated everybody because of the Bible. So before, I like to say that the Roman Catholic Church had great intentions prior to Vatican II. That was in like 64, 65 with that whole Pope John the 23rd.
I think it was 63 or 64.
Yeah, something like that, because it was right around that time, because JFK was pushing
65, you're right.
Palestine and all them to get in. Right? He wanted all the Palestinians, to either get money for their land or be allowed to go back to their land.
Who was this Pope?
No, JFK.
Oh, JFK. Okay.
Yeah. And nobody else wanted that. So then you look at, they offed him, then you put LBJ in, who was another devout Jew. And they won't say anything about that because it follows a maternal bloodline. So you could have Johnson as the last name, and you could be, because they just change all the names.
100%. And he was the one who was behind the USS Liberty.
Yep. Vietnam. His wife, Lady Bird, was selling arms to the North Vietnamese to kill Americans. I mean, literally, it's LBJ. You could literally take LBJ and Lady Bird, and you could say it's Bill and Hillary Clinton.
Right. Without as much media, ability than we have now.
Yeah, and without as much time, because remember, they were all setting everything up. Because if George H.W. Bush was in there and he was buddies with Clinton, and Clinton had that whole MENA drug trafficking going on, and he's related to the Rockefellers,
right?
And then Hillary is related to the Rothschilds. It's like, did any of us even have a standing chance in America with all that going on? And we're still here.
Because they knew how traumatized our nation would be with that, right? Just falling apart, and just like 9/11, just like, it's the same playbook. And what's interesting is how Lincoln's vice president was Johnson. All those,
Yep.
Stuart, you've read them, like all the similarities between the assassination of Lincoln and Kennedy, and all the similar, right? It's very interesting.
Yeah.
And you look at Lincoln too, and it's like he was blackmailed.
Yep.
Had to have been, because then you look at General Grant with the 2 general orders, right? Against the Mormons and the Jews, because they were the problems. They were not willing to assimilate into America. They kept on bringing slavery and all this, and who knows what the Mormons were doing out west. But if they're sending all the federal troops out west to deal with that, and then you kick up a civil war, right? I mean, then everybody's spread thin. And a civil war is you're just killing your best and brightest. And you're creating a bunch of orphans. I mean, it literally, this has been their plan from the get-go. Cause a bunch of wars, have a bunch of orphans. Nobody's going to look and see where these kids go. Look at all the stuff in Haiti. As soon as there's a, something going on in the world, the U.S. has to be there. It's like, now we have to ask ourselves why.
Yeah.
What are we doing in these places to get, because I mean, if we were actually going over there and doing the right thing, then we would be able to see the fruits of that labor. Because they would be like, yeah, Haiti's, they had an earthquake, they're rebuilding it. But then what do? They
2 houses.
Goes in, yep.
But here's the other thing: if you take it a step back, why are there these catastrophic events? Because we know they had the ability to make earthquakes, make typhoons, make all these things that put everything in disarray, so they could steal children.
Yeah, because how many how many major events have happened in Utah having to do with weather? Not many, huh? Just seems like it's further east, just a little bit east, and then you have Tornado Alley. And it's like, okay, well, tornadoes. It's like, but you notice that they always hit like the Bible Belt. They're always hitting like middle class. They would class middle class, lower class Americans, but they're all patriots. Because the middle class and lower class Americans, they love America. It's just, we've had a boot on our neck the entire time. So what do? They go in there, wipe it out, get everybody's downtrodden, and then the insurance companies are screwing everybody over. And then, I mean, literally, it's gather and loose. And then you're hitting the farms. So then you're destroying cattle, you're destroying crops.
Yep.
That's all they want to do. I mean, we're still waiting for a hurricane to hit the U.S. None hit last year.
That's kind of interesting, I find.
Seems like they shut something down over in Africa.
Something. And think about the money that came from that too. Like, I mean, I'm just thinking, because I'm looking in Florida now, it's like hurricane impact windows and the insurance, property insurance, like it just, and there's no hurricane last year. Is anybody surprised, like going, what the hell happened?
Well, some people are, but most people haven't got a clue.
Like, Jason, like every year when you're looking at like, oh, should we travel? It's like, well, it's hurricane season. You don't want to go to the Caribbean. You don't want to go to Florida. Like, and now all of a sudden, you're right. Something got shut down.
Because when they had all those during his first term. Remember, it was the scene on The Day After Tomorrow, and they had like all these hurricanes all in a row, all barreling on America, and all of a sudden they just start. This one's. It's like. But we know about the pipes and everything that they installed in the Atlantic because there's patents out for it that fuel the hurricanes. They have these massive pipes under the water.
Okay.
And they have like these energy generating stations. It was done by Bill Gates. His name is on the patent. We have all those patents, everything. I mean, they were all behind all these cataclysms. Because then you wonder, it's like, well, how does a hurricane gain so much
momentum
over land and stay there? And then you see the flights, they're dropping all that dust and all this, just to create supercells. Nah, these people need to hang. They all need to.
They will. We are moving into heaven on earth, aren't we? When all this shit is gone.
Yep.
All these Christians and stuff been waiting to be Jesus to come back and be taken away and stuff like that. Look, let's sort it out here first, because when all this evil is gone, this place is beautiful, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I mean, it's just you look at all these veterans, all these World War II veterans that are still alive in UK and America and all this, and they cannot believe what these countries have become.
We've had 100-year-old veterans on the TV here in absolute tears.
Yeah.
About what's going on at the moment, and the fact that they fought for the freedom of this country, and many of their comrades didn't make it home and have died since and stuff like that, and they are distraught at what it has become.
Mm-hmm.
This depravity and lack of willingness to get engaged.
Yeah. I was in like a coffee shop, the coffee shop I brought you to, Stu, and there were these two guys, maybe like early 70s, and they had Vietnam vet on their hats, and very like stoic looking together, getting their coffee. And I said, I just want to thank you for your service and sacrifice. And they were like, wow, thank you. Like, so many people just don't understand, like, just don't appreciate, what we had to go through. And I found that so sad, just in general.
Look, I totally agree. I honestly believe this is why this long rollout of this awakening is going, and Trump saying we're giving power back to you, the people, and the push for everyone to wake up and get involved and do this thing so it doesn't happen again. Because only 70 years ago we had the Second World War, the Nuremberg trials, the Nuremberg Code was written, and fucking 2 generations later, and no one gives a shit about any of it. It's sad. This is why these people have got to be pushed. These are our friends and family and loved ones and acquaintances and stuff like that, but they don't give 2 shits. So they're going to be pushed, whether it's a scare event or a precipice moment or near-death experience or losing all their money in the bank for a while. I don't know, but
what if it's a rapture? Why does it have to be bad on us? I mean, haven't we taken a beating enough?
Yeah.
I mean, we're just waiting because they're really pushing it. Israel is. And I put a video in there too, because here's the one thing I have a question about with the EU. Why are there 666 seats in the EU?
Yeah, and let me just interject there, because that vote came through yesterday about send them back.
Oh, that was great.
But that was also 666 votes for. Did you see that? Yeah.
Yeah, but then there was a handshake involved, right? And it happened right in front of number 107.
Okay, so there we go. I mean, if there's not enough comms to show us, this is a movie for over there now, just like we had our movie for Biden.
Yep.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, a lot of it had to do with that signing in Versailles. Because I don't. People want to say, "Oh, that end." No. Why would you sign in Versailles? I mean, you think of the treaty that literally screwed Europe off the map, the Treaty of Versailles. And then you have Germany still, we're going to put $1.04 billion into a Holocaust remembrance fund for Holocaust survivors. Like, how many people are still living? And those tattoos were from meal rations, so they get double rations. They were scamming the system the whole time. But they want to claim that they're victims because they tried to rewrite history, but now all the documents are starting to come forward.
Yeah. And
now they're in trouble. Because now it's like, oh, anti-Semitism. You can't say that. It's anti-Semitism. What's anti-Semitic about the truth?
Exactly. And you can see, I know we say Israel for last, and we talked about Israel being America, haven't we, with all the place and all this sort of stuff. But we are seeing Israel, the Israel, really put in the crosshairs now. Trump's going, you'd be in fucking jail if it wasn't for me to straighten Yahoo, and all this stuff is coming out. And what we're actually seeing, isn't it, is that everyone is making peace. But it's going to be these. Whether they do some sort of Samson auction or scare event or nuclear weapons go off or something like that, or Bibi comes on, the actor, whoever it is, whether it's him or not, comes on telling and going, we are going to take you all down. They are being pushed into this reveal that they are the true ones that have been causing all this shit and problems.
Well, and then they did launch a nuke. Israel did, but it detonated on Israeli land. I mean, it was a massive mushroom cloud. Like, oh, it was a controlled detonation. Controlled detonation. And then they had that mushroom cloud go over the off the coast of Cocoa Beach, Florida. The people are like, whoa, what's that? It's like, huh? Was that Red October? Was that one of their subs? That they thought they were going to pull a launch off? And because remember, they're like, oh, Iran, they could hit the United States. No, they can't. They never wanted to hit the United States. When they said death to America, it's the government. It's not the American people.
Right.
I mean, we don't want this corporation government any more than they want it.
No.
I mean, they're screwing us over just as much as they're screwing them over. They're getting money for it.
I mean, every patriot in every country is pretty much shouting out death to the government in every country on the planet, aren't they?
Yeah, and don't think that there's a rape gang scandal in the UK and there's not one in the US. It's even bigger over here. Everywhere.
It's so horrific. And we were saying off camera, we started saying this before, that if you're awake, if you've gone down the research of these horrific things that are done to children, there comes a point where you shouldn't keep reading and watching. You've accepted, you're talking, you're getting part of the movement, because it doesn't serve any purpose except, like Stu said, to kill your soul. We're not made to see the suffering of people, and especially little children and babies. So I would suggest you can be aware, but don't put that evil into your eyes and your mind. Just keep that vibration high and just keep putting out the love and the truth. But it doesn't help. Like, I've never seen the Frazzle Drip video, and I never fucking will.
Let them watch it. Let them.
I've heard. I don't need to.
Nope.
Yeah.
No. Look, I mean, there's only a certain way we can go down these rabbit holes, because ultimately, whatever God's plan is in all this, and Q and everything, is the fact that the people that are not waking up are just going to be given chance after chance after chance after chance until the hammer goes down, I think. And then this might be a clearing out of the wheat of the chaff moment, like you say, some with rapture or reverse rapture,
Yeah.
But there's no point banging your head against the wall, doing the research that we already know for these people. We've done our research. We can research other things. We can look as much as we want into certain things. But ultimately, it's down to them. We've planted enough seeds. If you don't want to water them,
yeah,
it's for the abnormies that maybe they need to be, shocked to see it. But we've been dealing with this now, minimum for most of us, 5 years. If people didn't know before, so we can't allow, because that's just like a very low energy. So we're better off getting involved in the schools, getting involved in trying to pass, anti-grooming laws like our Michelle Peterson. That's where we need to put our efforts, as opposed to just reading and watching the horrors that that are coming out.
Yeah, speaking of horrors, where the hell is it? Watched it yesterday, I believe. Yesterday, it might have been Monday too. Was watching the where the hell is it? I may have wrote the other one, but there was a on 610. They had the Chicago Public Schools, Loudoun County School District, San Francisco, and all that in the House meeting, right? House hearing.
That's a 17, right?
Yeah, and yeah, I would. If I had kids, I wouldn't even let them. I wouldn't let them walk in a school zone at this point. I mean, they're literally they're wondering why they let all the students out on May 1st for a big civics day, which we know is Communist Day. But then yet he's reading to the head of the Chicago Public Schools that, you guys have a 75% failure rate in math. You have a 77% failure in reading. But then you're telling them to go out and revolt against the government. So what exactly are you teaching these kids?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the kids can't read. They can't spell. I mean, the grown-ups can't spell either. So I was watching a clip yesterday. They were talking about another New York Post, and they misspelled words in there too. I'm like, who's reading this? Who's proofreading this?
It's really pathetic. My daughter's an English major. She's like, Ma, there's 2 people in the class. We know how to write. I cannot believe. So she told me the story. Now we laugh about it, but this kid wrote some kind of essay or something, and he wrote a pair of something, PEAR. Now, 2 things. You either are stupid or you're, not doing spell check, or you're taking it off AI. Because I find, you know what I'm saying, which indicates to me too that they're lazy. These are English majors. They're not like, I have to take this class because it's it's a requirement. These are English majors. So you're not proofreading at the very least, but and there was so many of those. She's like, I can't. The teacher literally said to my daughter, you and you are the only ones in this entire class that I can deal.
Or there's something else going on, because I don't know if Jason said New York Times or New York Post there, but Mike King talks about this a lot in the New York Times. He says there's so many comms in there.
Okay, maybe that's what it is for that.
He calls it the Q York Times.
Okay.
Right? So potentially, are the White House in control of that? Are they putting all this shit in there? Are they putting comms in there? Are they making all these mistakes? Is it being done purposefully? It's.
Didn't Trump just post something about Mike King?
Did he?
It's too social.
No, I don't. Not
that. I think we responded to it. Let me see.
Will Donald Trump. Enter Donald J. Trump. There's not a Mike King in politics as well, is there?
There was a
We're talking about Mike King from Real News and History.
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me see. Oh, here. Let's see.
Mike King, who wrote that.
Let me see.
Where the hell is it? Son of a bitch. Oh, so let me see.
Is that Dina saying that? I'm finding it.
Let's see. Okay. I don't know where in hell it is. But yeah, he wrote like these he posted these like pieces of paper. There's a whole write-up. I think it was by Mike King. And then we responded to it. Because it wasn't didn't go far enough.
Yeah.
You always gotta go deep with this. Always. Because it always goes back to little hats. Every single time. I mean, we've been warned about them throughout history by how many people?
Pretty much everyone.
A lot. A lot. And
Are we talking about the Mike King, who's the criminal investigator, former Utah law enforcement?
I have no idea who
Host of Profiling Evil and Mapping Evil?
I'm talking about him, Jay. Mike King, who wrote that.
I know who you're talking about, right? And I don't know if this is the Mike King, journalist and author. I don't know.
It's probably him. Because it was
years in law enforcement, including serving as chief of staff at the Utah Attorney General's office.
Oh, well, I'll look into that.
Oh, Dina put in the chat.
Oh my God, she's so funny.
Where?
Yeah, I know. I'm looking too. The Rumble chat or the private? No, not the private chat.
Hey, D, it's not there. I don't see it.
All right.
Nope.
No, I can't see it in the Rumble chat.
Yeah, I don't see it. And I don't see it on YouTube either. Unless it's in their chat, like the we not me chat.
She might put it in again. Hey Dina, put it back in the chat.
So so this was a tweet that not a tweet, a truth that Trump put that he's saying about Mike King, whoever.
Yeah, well, it was Dave King.
Dave King.
Dave King.
Right.
Dave King, which is 11-4.
Yeah, he's DK. Let's have a look at that. Let's do a search. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that comes straight up. One day ago, presidential historian Dave King. Sounds good to me.
That's it.
Yeah, he's written a letter about Trump. Donald Trump is without question the most powerful man that the planet has ever known by a long way.
It's not Mike King, guys. It's Dave King.
Dave King.
Not Mike. Not Mike King. So
now, who is Dave King?
I don't know, but he's somebody that Trump retweeted. So Trump put it, and Dina put it in there a couple times. I watched her do it, and it's not showing up.
Oh no! Well, there is some
Presidential historian. That's who Dave King is.
Yeah.
They have a copy of. Let me put this in the chat if it helps.
Looks like there's some Friday afternoon rumble fuckery going on.
Could be. Yeah, see if you can
I
click
just
that.
put it in there. Oh yeah, it's come up now.
Yeah, I have the truth in front of me. I just put the link in there.
Yeah, oh, that was you.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, it's interesting that Dina's put it in a couple of times, but it hasn't shown up. I did see Wendy earlier saying she couldn't tag people's names and was having to type them out.
Do we want to read this? It's pretty long.
Oh, it's not that long.
Shall I read it out? Do you want me to?
Oh, you have to give it up. I just oh, okay.
Yeah. Donald Trump is, without question, the most powerful man the planet has ever known by a long way. Historically, powerful people were characterized by brutal conquest and the fear that they instilled in the populations that came under their influence. Common names that would come to mind are Alexander the Great, the Caesars, Genghis Khan, Attila the Hun, Tambulain, Napoleon, and more recently, Hitler, Mao, and Stalin. The overwhelming difference between each of the above when compared with President Trump is their lack of global reach. Their power was limited to restricted local areas, even though some of these areas were quite large in local context. They had nowhere near the control over modern logistics, manpower, technology, and the global economic muscle that President Trump can enforce. Alexander the Great and the Caesars were confined to the Mediterranean, small parts of North Africa, Europe, and India. Genghis Khan, Tambulain, and Attila the Hun were butchers who destroyed mainly small villages over parts of Asia in what is now largely Russia. They were terrorists, more like the Taliban than people with real power. Napoleon had similar local influence, mainly in parts of Europe and North Africa, but he came unstuck when he moved against Russia. Even though Russia was a backward nation, its size made military logistics too challenging, hence resulting in complete failure for Napoleon. Hitler repeated Napoleon's mistake in Russia. Excuse me. Mao and Lenin had access to immense power within their Chinese and Russian populations and some of their satellite states. They maintained this power through fear and authoritarianism, but they lacked the economic and technological resources of new industrial power, the USA, which resulted in the Cold War and prevented them from ever having a meaningful global reach. The collapse of communism, even through Russia and China, have never been truly communist countries, has seen the USA emerge as the first truly global superpower. Additionally, President Trump is the first leader willing to use that power on a global scale. That makes him by far the most powerful person that has ever walked on this planet. On a final note, I'll touch on the president's reference to William the Conqueror. William, who was from Normandy in France, only conquered one country, England, in 1066, and thereafter English nobility spoke French as their first language for the next few centuries, but William never even conquered Scotland or Ireland, so has no significant historical value outside of England. If President Trump is the American eagle, then William the Conqueror was merely a sparrow. Warmest regards, Dave King. Honestly, that's a great letter.
Yeah.
So now, put another link in there. Well, pull that one up. I'll read it. All right. So this is in response. By all my research, and there's a lot of it, I firmly believe that this letter is a start. We have President Trump pinned to specific people throughout history. Also, certain events that he's repeating proves that the world truly is a stage. But he's way higher than people realize. Religion had it wrong. It wasn't JC. It was CJ. Christ is an office. It's not Jesus Christ. It's Christ Jesus. That's when you swear. Jesus Christ isn't swearing. Christ Jesus. If you're holding the office first, then the person. There you go. So it's the one that you would model your life by. Not saying Trump is a saint, but even Jesus hung out with prostitutes. Also, his father's middle name was, and grandmother on his mother's side was Christ. By all counts, the previous holder of that office was General Patton. 12/9/1945, his accident in Europe. He was murdered in the hospital and died 12 days later. So that means it's 12/21. We see a lot of 12/21s in the drops, and plus it's a split of 3/3. Then Trump mentions $1.87 gas a lot. Well, how about this? 12/9/45, and you add 187 days, right? Then you get 6/14/46, his birthday, 21 right there. The clause in genius, bringing in the buoyancy of gold and also the quote era to monstrum, the kill boxes. That's Archimedes. The Archimedes screw was to water the hanging gardens of Babylon. By far, my favorite is one of the 5 good emperors of Rome, Hadrian. Historically, it all lines up. And the best is yet to come. Hadrian meets Thanos. 1 of by land, MK-84s. 2 of by sea. You poison your last while, you psychopaths. 100% jab rate over there, right? Their birth rate went up. Rest of the world went down. Which one did they take? The bite that has no cure. On 12/13/20 at 23/23:04, the tweet stands out more than ever. 5 years ahead of schedule. When Trump said that, right here, boom. It says, vaccines are shipped and on their way. 5 years ahead of schedule. Get well, USA. Get well, world. We love you all. Right? How are you going to heal the world? Through which vaccine? Right? Makes you think about which one they took. This is about to be the greatest single week in history, capping off with his birthday on Sunday and the whole Versailles event tonight on Constitution Day, no less. Deuces, Treaty of Verona, and now Friday, Saturday, it's time for the MAGA Promise. Suicide weekend, anyone.
Now, it's funny, isn't it? Because that's a great post there, Jason. Superb. I was just going to say as well, he keeps mentioning 187 gas. 187 is the police code for murder, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and hasn't Trump gone away for the weekend now to Camp David?
I don't know where he went today.
Well, I think that's what's been quoted as to where he's gone.
Somebody can type fast, I can tell you that much. That's got to be Elisa. That's got to, man. I've gotten better, but when it's like, and she's just like, yep, I'm like, that's her.
Yeah,
women can type faster than men, just naturally.
I don't know. It says this. I typed in where is President Trump right now. It says President arrives at Trump National Golf Club, Washington at 7. Now I don't know if this is exactly today, but
it says per the White House schedule just released, President Trump is set to go to Camp David this weekend, June 19th. There's multiple posts from different people.
That's really strange because we kind of know what Camp David's all about.
Well, he's Camp David. He's military, isn't it?
It's it was the retreat or the summer resting place, but now we've heard it's got a cloning facility,
a massive naval hospital.
Yeah.
So wouldn't he be insulated there too?
Yeah. Because it says POTUS will be. I know it says on Air Force One and the boards and all that, but you don't have to take the Q drops literally, do you? He just needs to be out of the way. This is why we've all been saying potentially if Trump was arrested and put in jail when all this shit goes down, they couldn't put it on him because he was out of the way. So when all this shit goes down, he's going to be out of the way somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, hell, you've got oh, and not to mention, there was that big situation room meeting on July 17th, 2025, without Trump. Now, J.D. Vance sit at the head of the table, and he was worried about the Epstein files getting leaked out. So we know that he's not worried about Trump being exposed in the files. He's worried about other people in the files being exposed. One named Les Wexner. Because who gave J.D. Vance his start in and all of his helped him with all of his funding to become an Ohio State become an Ohio senator? It was Les Wexner and Peter Thiel. So he was calling Trump a Nazi in 2017, all this. So was Charlie Kirk. Let's not forget about that. When people are like, oh, be more like Charlie, you're literally you're replacing Charlie with Christ, is what you're doing. Like, oh, be more like, I don't want to be more like him.
Right.
Have a fake family. You're taking all this money from people. And they're like, oh, like all this bad stuff at TPUSA started after he left. It's like,
right.
Please. You know, I mean, just by us going over the J6 stuff, you know, and then how he's like, oh, I have insiders at the White House, and they said that Pence is going to send it back to the states. Did any of us hear that at all? Not one bit. But he had insiders. Yeah, Kimberly Guilfoyle.
What happened to her that we know of?
She is the ambassador to the U.S. to Greece.
To Greece.
You got to keep them all on a leash. You got to make sure that, you know, people are like, oh, he's surrounding himself with bad people on purpose. Because these are not the final picks, guys. Not the final picks.
And honestly, did Don Jr. just get engaged or married or something?
Yeah, he got married to what was it? Was it somebody that an attorney or something like that had something to do with Epstein or something? It's like, bro, you are picking some bad broads to be hanging out with,
or not?
Yeah,
it's part of the plan, because you got the first one who was right on Fox News, and prior to that, she was married to Gavin Newsom. That new one doesn't look anything like the old one. And this particular wife or whatever, like, it's just so bad that it's obvious.
It's cringe. And it makes people think it's like, so was it really a real wedding at all?
Right.
Or, you know.
You know, I have this vision that they're all somewhere having like a picnic, and the clones and the actors are playing this all out with their identities.
They're laughing their ass off.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could surround yourself with all this evil and know that he's 100% insulated, well, if they're using clones and organic robotoids, why can't we? Right? What if Trump's sitting somewhere in a basement, has an earpiece in, and he's directed himself?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a movie. He said you're going to enjoy this show.
Sorry, I was muted. If Trump is the most hunted and dangerous man to the cabal in the world, there's no way he's walking where, unless the security is 117% military.
No way is he walking.
There's no way he's walking around fucking cage fighting arenas, fucking other places. You know, there was a video the other day. I think he went to the Knicks game, didn't he, or something? And he sat behind.
And they tore apart New York City, by the way. It was a fucking mess.
He sat behind the glass screen during the game, right? But then he got up and walked out through the crowd and down between. It's like there's no way in a million years, right? If Trump is 117% insulated, that is him bowling about, or everyone in there is 60,000 secret army.
Yeah.
There can only be two options. You know, he gets shot in the ear, he puts a pillowcase on his ear, and then he says, oh, it's all gone, I'm a fast healer. I mean, come on.
But not to mention, let's just look at the facts. He's 80 years old. How is he? It's 24/7. I mean, has anybody actually thought, I'm talking about the abnormies, has anybody ever thought about how does this man...
Well, I would suggest he's not human. Right?
Every single day.
Right? Or he, like Michael Jackson, used to sleep in a tent, and Trump sleeps in a med bed every night.
But even if he did, the time doesn't work out. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say?
Oh yes, what I'm saying is, it's like I've had my 16 hours a day, bring Trump number 2 in for the next day, you know, and then, yeah.
Hey, bring in that short one. Bring in that tall one.
Yeah, 6'3" to 5'8".
Yeah.
And even at the State of the Union, if you remember how short Don Jr. was.
I think they're all playing a part. It's just like the whole Jared and Ivanka.
Yes.
Right? They're like, oh, we're gonna go check out this island. Then what that do? That set out the powder keg in Albania, because Albania, they were like, hey, we're willing to sell it all off to Israel. It's like, then you start looking at all these, like the Torah City in Mexico. You have Argentina, and they set fires to get these properties. They're like, oh, we're gonna have a kibbutz here. It's like, no more. Nope. Because the only way that we can find out is who took that jab.
And here's the thing, like, go way back. Okay, let's go way back. Because I remember when I was like a semi-normie, and this was probably, early 2000s, whatever. And I was watching like Fox News with Hannity, and Ivanka had, I think she wrote a book and she was promoting it. And then there was all like, her planning her wedding, and there was the whole thing that the family was very Jewish, and they kind of insisted that she convert, and she did. And like, if this is all a movie, how far back does it go? And then they had all the right dialogue, how she had her business, remember? Because I have some of her shoes and clothes,
Yeah.
fashion designer. And then all the stores boycotted them during the election. And then she's married to Kushner. Like, who is Kushner? Like, we know who he is and his family's supposed to be, right? They're real estate people, and they're Orthodox. I believe they're Orthodox Jews.
Yeah.
But is it all a show?
Well, and then if you think about it, if there's somebody who has an axe to grind with BB, it'd be Jared Kushner. Because why was BB sleeping in Jared Kushner's room when you have like an eight room house, a massive spread? You wouldn't have him sleeping in your son's bedroom,
right?
Unless it's always that dead stare, like when you look at Jared and all that, like that blank look. It's like, what happened to these kids?
But maybe it's not them. And also, why was he so instrumental? He's the son of real estate people. Why was he so instrumental in dealing with Israel? And then he gets pointed out that he was so instrumental with a lot of the Middle East stuff. Like, who's he really? Who's behind the mask?
Maybe with those three, right? So, because you had Kushner, Witkoff, and Vance doing this deal. Well, from some of the videos I've heard from Vance himself, so after every peace talk, he was on the phone with BB giving him all the information. Israel was excluded for a reason.
And do you remember at the end of Trump's first term where there was the thing where Kushner was locked out of the White House?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. That's odd.
This movie, man.
And let's see this. Okay. What day did the Knicks win? Did they win on the 17th or 18th?
It was it Saturday night? Oh wait, this is what I just found. It says this refers to a viral September 2018 incident where White House senior advisor Jared Kushner was inadvertently locked outside the Winter Building in Washington, D.C. He was kept waiting for nearly 2 minutes to enter an entrance being used for Office of the United States Trade. No, but it was the White House. It was the White House, I remember.
Huh.
After leaving the White House in 2021, Kushner founded Affinity Partners, a private equity firm that derives most of its funds from the public investment fund, the Saudi government's sovereign wealth fund. There's so much more here.
There always is.
The sovereign wealth fund. So, hold on a second.
Here's the other thing with the movie. You have the takedown, the eventual takedown of Israel, save Israel for last, all this stuff. What has been the emotional fear factor used for the Jews and also for the, fundamentalist Christians? Israel, right? It's Israel. Okay. And you have Donald Trump now, who's going to be running for president, but his daughter marries and converts to Judaism. So how could he possibly be an anti-Semite? And now he's kissing up and, oh, Israel's our, friend, all the stuff he put into place. So no one could ever pin it on him or his family. And now, after all these number of years, he's whacking it to Bibi. He's like, it's so strategic.
He's a crypto Christian, right? I mean, if Pfizer works both ways, everything works both ways. You have crypto Jews, then you have crypto Christians. Because we could sit here and say, "Oh yeah, you could easily become a Jew." It's like it's the blood,
right? But But you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like nobody would. I had so many of my mom's friends were Jewish, part of a Jewish golf club. They love Trump. A lot of the friends of hers.
Yeah.
But they were so pro-Israel, and they bought the whole, they're our friend, and Trump is pro-Israel, right? And his daughter's raising her children Jewish, and this whole thing. And now it's like, whoop. Because he revealed, in that narrative, he was able to reveal because he gained the trust. So they would listen to him. And now everyone's going to believe him, because how could someone that believed so much in Israel, he wasn't against them from the beginning. He was their friend. He trusted that. And now all of a sudden it's like, well, now we're seeing what's going on, folks. I can't possibly have Bibi involved in it. It's so brilliant.
Remember, it even said in the drops that he has to be completely impartial.
Yes.
Plausible deniability. So that's why they say, do you trust the commander in chief? Do you trust the military chain of command? It's like, do you trust the U.S. military? Yes. So what's about to go down?
Yeah. That's one of the first things they told us in drops 4 and 6. POTUS must remain neutral as people begin to be indicted.
Yep.
We've known it for years, and we are seeing it unfold.
I mean, hell, and then you've got
This is very interesting, guys. The Saudi government's sovereign wealth fund is the Public Investment Fund, PIF, established in 1971 and headquartered in Riyadh. It is one of the largest sovereign wealth funds in the world, managing approximately $900 billion in assets. The fund is a cornerstone of the Saudi government's Vision 2030 initiative, designed to diversify the nation's economy and reduce its dependence on oil revenue. Chaired by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the fund's activities and portfolio are organized around a few key focal points, and it goes into what these are. But what are we doing now? We're pulling who drill, baby, drill.
Yeah.
So if Jared Kushner's involved in that, and we've been told, right, from what we think we believe, bin Salman is an ally. they're completely upending and changing around the entire economic system.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think?
But who had the sovereign wealth fund before? Because it wasn't always. When did it come out? In 71?
1971, of course. This is another one of those things that they took over and infiltrated for good.
But the sovereign. So how? Mohammed bin Salman wasn't even born in 71.
Right. This is now.
So who
the other
was the head? That would be
Al-Walid.
Al-Walid bin Talal. Because remember, you start looking at how Obama got into Harvard. Who funded that? They told us to follow Huma, the Harvard Muslim University alumni.
Yeah.
And then you start seeing, oh, well, that put Elena Kagan in as a Supreme Court justice for a mere bribe of $20 million to Harvard. Oh. So it's like you pay Harvard and you get anything you want.
Right.
Odd. But there is something, oh, man, please don't ask like this.
Well, it reminds me of that 80% is behind the scenes.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think about the news story that Jared and Ivanka were buying that island a week or two ago with all the tunnels in it and stuff?
Well, I look at it as what was going on that island before. But also what you're doing is you're cutting off an important trade route.
Yeah. And also maybe purchasing it as a crime scene investigation.
Or an island, they're like, oh well, yeah, we're just gonna take part of this island. Well, then the Albanians started realizing that, hey, they're really taking a lot of our land here. The Jews. So what they do? They started going to all these little kibbutzes and running them all out. It's like if you want your country back, you have to be free of all this demonology shit.
Yeah.
Man, where in the hell is this? Because I have it. I got it a long time ago too. It was the whole it's from 1971 too. It was the whole Saudi the whole sovereign wealth fund packet.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it was all in screenshots. I think they were kind of blurry, but I'll have to find it because I've got a lot of them. I mean, we literally have like a lot of shit, a lot, but we just save it. I mean, so we have to do, Yeah. I mean, it's archived down here, but let's see, where is this? Damn it. Let's see. Well, I could find it later. Because then I'll have to just. Let's see. This one? No. That's not it. Yeah, I'll have to find it because. Yeah, it's really fucked up. Because you look at the whole 71 and the whole, the deal with the oil, right? The petrodollar and everything.
Right. That was when it wasn't 71 we went off the gold standard?
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, it was August 15th, 1971 we went off the gold standard because it was exactly 100 years to the day of that letter, the Pike Mazzini letter. Exactly 100 years to the day.
Wow. So
I'm sure that's just a coincidence, right?
Yeah.
It's just a coincidence that, Reagan knew Trump, Nixon knew Trump. And then when I shook Donald Trump's hand, he said, I felt like I was meeting the president. It's like,
wow. Yes.
Think bigger. But man, Israel's they are on the panic button.
Or not, because it's all been done.
Well, I mean, look, we're seeing all these big reveals come out. We know Tulsi Gabbard's been leaving, and Bill Porter's been put in her place. I think there's someone else coming in. Whether they're going to put General Flynn in there at the end or whatever, I don't know. But Tulsi has dropped 2 mega videos over this last week. 3 minutes about all the bioweapons labs, and then yesterday she dropped one all really out in Fauci and stuff. And now this is going into the abnormosphere.
Yep.
So, it's beautiful.
The abnormosphere. I like that.
and you look at all the one, okay, so 4, 13. So you have Bill Pulte and Tulsi Gabbard, right? Well, then Bill Pulte is today, right? Now, Tulsi said she's leaving on 6/30, which is in 11 days, right? The B is a 2, and the P is a 16, which equals a 9. The T is a 2, the G is a 7, equals a 9. You have 2 people, you have 11 days. It's 9/11, 9/11, 11/11. Then DNI, 4 plus 1 plus 4 plus 9 is 18. Is that our parade? Are we hitting our parade right now till the 30th?
Wait, yesterday was the Knicks parade.
And where the parade? What route did the parade follow?
I don't know. I didn't follow.
It's the same route that a certain someone else followed that same parade route back on October 12th, 1963, while holding a sword when he was 17 years old in the Columbus Day parade. That would be Donald John Trump.
Battery Park, Bowling Green, directly north along Broadway, concluded at City Hall Plaza.
And did anybody else notice a jersey that they put up that shouldn't have been up there?
Where at City Hall at the
Yes.
destination?
Yes. Why would Patrick Ewing's jersey be up there?
I don't know.
What number did Patrick Ewing wear? 33. How long ago did he retire? We watched him in the 90s with Jordan.
Right.
So it's not like he's out there playing today. Why would they have his up there?
Well, what do you think?
Shit, I was muted again. Nothing is random. Everything has
all
meaning.
rigged. Because the funny thing is that Trump being the big fan of the Knicks he is, right? So the only game they lost was the one he went to, and he stayed the whole game.
Let me tell you something, though. Let me tell you what happened here in New York. I didn't watch it. I don't have TV, so I didn't watch it. But it pulled New Yorkers. There are, like, I think Stu showed, there were people, just random people on the train, on the Long Island Railroad, hugging each other, black, white, didn't matter. When they won, my daughter was coming home from work, beeping in the streets and screaming, they won. And I know there's also this simultaneous thing going on where people are getting hurt, right? There's all this violence happening at the same time. But that was a real uniter, and it's also accentuating the assholes that are running around, doing the violence right now. How do you unite a city that's so full of evil with a communist mayor?
Yeah, I just say something else to that as well, because I saw something yesterday. Loads of people have been posting videos, people coming in from Europe and places into America for the World Cup. The World Cup proves Europe was wrong about America. Loads of people doing this. And people are understanding that they've been completely lied to about the United States through their various medias around the world and stuff as they're coming into America. I find that really interesting.
Yeah.
I want to ask Jason a question when he comes back.
I'm back. I had to shut the door.
Now, I found this interesting because we've heard that Tulsi Gabbard's last day will be June the 30th. correct? And you were just saying it's the 19th today. She put that video out yesterday on the 18th, basically saying, I'm making this statement in my last day of office.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what she said.
Yeah, I was picked up on that.
If she's not leaving till the 30th, why did she say that on the 18th?
Yep. Just kind of snuck it in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because remember, she said she had some bangers on 6:30 she was going to unveil too. Yeah, shit, hold on a second.
You know, it makes me think these Tulsi videos might have been recorded at other times.
What do you mean recorded?
Well, you just recorded in the past, ready to put out on certain days.
But what? But then was it put out on the wrong day? We know there's no mistake.
Oh, yeah, yes, maybe. Not on the wrong day to make people think. Look at it. I don't know. It's interesting.
There's something there, yeah.
Well, look, if we've got another 12 days, and she said, "I'm putting this out on my last day," we'll say what happens over the next 12 days. Just listen carefully to what she says. If she says, I'm putting this out on my last day on the next video in 2 days' time, you think, oh, hang about a minute. Were they all done at the same time?
Right.
Drips out. I just thought it was interesting that she said that 12 days early.
Yes.
You know, I mean, she was never going to sort of drop everything on just the last day, was she? So the more we get in the next 12 days, it's going to be fantastic.
Oh. Let's see. All right.
Here we go.
All right. So they had a Patrick Ewing banner up, right? Why? So, which jersey wore 33, right?
If you say so, I didn't follow.
He wore number 33.
Okay.
So there's absolutely zero correlation between Trump going to game 3.0, staying the whole game, which we've seen him in all these other games, and he leaves at like halftime and he books out. But this one, he stayed to the buzzer. Isn't Madison Square Garden in the Southern District of New York?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so isn't it when they say that JFK Jr. was a start, right? 99. So it must just be ironic that the last game that Trump and JFK Jr. went to was on 3/30/1999.
Yeah, there's no such thing as coincidence.
Somebody snuck into the game, into the box, and chilled with them a little bit, you know, maybe a mask or just because also when we go back to this whole man behind the curtain, right, with this Dolan. Bill Dolan, is it Bill Dolan? The one who owns the Knicks? I think it's Bill Dolan. Because remember when they had the Wizard of Oz opening at the Sphere in Vegas?
When was that?
They had the Wizard of Oz open at the Sphere in Vegas. And on the opening night, they had somebody sitting on a green throne. It was Bill Dolan.
Wait, and you know when he took charge of the team?
When?
1999.
And Ewing retired in 2000. So, why? Right?
And he invited personally, apparently, Donald Trump.
Of course. And not to mention,
they've been friends for decades.
Hey, the thing is Trump has been playing this long game for a long time. Like and people are like, oh, well, he's saying, oh, that's it. Christ on all prostitutes, guys. What are you gonna do? You cannot hang around all good people and expect to find out anything on the bad side. You can't. When they said everything has been infiltrated, they mean every single facet of their whole network is infiltrated.
Yeah.
Down to the whole dialogue. So why is Tulsi going to that? Why is Elon going to that? It's like, odd, right? It's that, because they all thought that, oh, yeah, they're on your side, all right? Yep.
Funny how, like, there's all these, like, old friends and people that he's known for so long. Remember when he said, I'd like to lose all my money to see who my real friends are, and
you just can't guess.
And now with all this stuff going on with him and how they want to throw him in jail and all that, and who was wanting to do that?
Wait, throw who in jail?
Trump.
Oh, okay.
And it goes back to tomorrow, 10 years ago, tomorrow is the Winston versus Oceana mock trial. Oh, you guys. Oh. Here's some homework for you guys. You guys are going to lose your shit.
Wait, 1 second. So he invited him to game 3. And the last game he went to with JFK, he said what was the date?
3/30/99.
And Dolan took control in 1999. I don't know what month. Ewing's number.
I don't understand how this trial only has 121 views.
Yeah, that channel's only got 96 subscribers as well, isn't it?
I didn't subscribe, but it was an hour 15:18. So
Fine.
How we found this was when President Trump talked about that Christopher Cooper guy. He made a tweet about it, right? The truth. And then he mentioned his wife, Amy Jeffress. So when he names one person and he's like, oh, yeah, then she didn't take his last name for some reason. It's like, so we looked into him and her, and we found out that she was a participant in a mock trial called Winston versus Oceana, which had 1984 all written over it. But this was on 6/20 of 2016, right? 6 and 2 is an 8. 2016 is a 9. It's a 17. Funny. So, literally, this whole mock trial was to push surveillance, mass surveillance, and find a way to get Trump vaporized. They literally talk about him getting vaporized. And this was before the election. You had Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Stephen Breyer, Cornelia Pollard, and we went over all of them. David Tattle and Patricia Millett, those 5. Then you had Abby Lowell. He's the one hosting it. Great guy. Because this is all through the Shakespeare Theater Corporation. Oh, it's long. But you guys have got to watch this because this is one of the most insane trials you could. It's a mock trial, and that's that Amy Jeffress right there. That's the one that is married to that Christopher Cooper that has been throwing all these wrenches in the ballroom and all this shit right there. And the person behind her, because he, right there, the guy with the glasses, him and Amy Jeffress, they were both Biden's lawyers during 2021 to 2024. I mean, this right here, this right here should be viewed by all. It's that big. I mean, this, I can honestly say that my jaw hit the desk numerous times watching this.
Now, this is from 1984?
No.
Oh.
6/22 on 16.
Oh.
1984 mock trial, Winston versus Oceana. It's from the 1984, like similar to 1984 book, Orwell.
Got it.
Everything's Orwellian.
I got it.
It
And is this the link you put in the, is this
Yes.
the last link?
Yes.
Yeah, I've got it saved.
So I'm going to put it into the, I'll call it mock trial and put it in the comments.
And what they do is that jury selection. And that guy right there,
Nice hair.
that Boutros, what did we find about him? We found something about him too. I'll dig it out. But there's, I mean, all the players in this, nope. No. I mean, and then you think about Trump in his first term going and sitting in Winston Churchill's chair.
Yeah.
You don't think he knows about this trial? Because then after he mentions about Amy Jeffress and all this, right? Then a few days after that, well, not even a few days, it was what, a week? Probably a week after, because we watched that when it came out 2 weeks. It was only 2 weeks old. And how we found that was through Amy Jeffress, through her Wikipedia. You pull up Winston versus Oceana, and it just so happens that that trial was put on by C-SPAN guy literally a month ago. Has 121 views. And it's probably one of the biggest, because you think of like a mock trial, nobody's going to watch it.
Right.
Once you start learning what they're doing, then you start seeing that the whole judicial system was against them. And just by this, you can invalidate all Article 3 courts. Because you had 2 Supreme Court justices, you had 2 D.C. Court of Appellate judges, and what did Trump just do? He just nominated 2 people to the appellate courts in D.C. Huh, odd, I'd say. I mean, it's diabolical, guys. It is. Nah, I mean, it's one of those that I was stopping it a lot during it, and just like, because it was late. I mean, we were watching it. It's like midnight or something like that, and it was later on in the show because I'm like, all right, guys, we got to get through this because I only watched the first like 5 minutes of it. And
How long is it?
It's like hour 15.
Okay, it's not that terribly long.
It's not, but you'll be pausing it and be like just shaking your head, walking out of the room. It was like that. I was. This is the one video that I saw in all this that I'm like, just scrap it all. I mean, if you have the justices, and the thing is, there was supposed to be a different justice. It wasn't supposed to be Stephen Breyer. It was supposed to be Brett Kavanaugh. Odd, right? So why was Kavanaugh left off? And then you see all the attacks on Kavanaugh. They're intensifying through his Supreme Court hearing. Let's see something real quick. Ooh. So Kavanaugh replaced Anthony Kennedy, and it's funny because the whole Ruth Bader Ginsburg, right? Remember they had like a mock funeral for her? They had her remains on a box with a gavel.
Oh yeah, that thing was so strange.
It
was
was
missing for a few days, weeks.
It was held in the same by the Shakespeare Company. Wow, that's coming about full circle. Let's see. Oh, and I put that other video in there, the second one.
Yeah, I've got two more. I've got watch stop funding it. Furious MPs demand complete sanctions on Israel trade. And why is Mark Levin mentioning Israel's nukes while mad at Trump?
Play that one.
What, the Mark Levin one?
Yes, because now what they're doing is now you have people on the inside threatening Trump with nuclear weapons. I thought there weren't any nukes.
Right.
Yeah.
Me, right?
Amazing. Right, yeah, this is only 8 minutes long, so I should play this.
Upset with Donald Trump, which is great news for everybody else. So he went on this long tirade and then he starts bringing up Israel's nuclear weapons. And he's just being all mischievous about it, talking about how Israel has these not so secret weapons. So take a listen to this and then let's talk about it.
I strongly disagree with something the president said today. I heard him say one other time too, which is if we hadn't attacked Iran, Israel would not exist. It would have been destroyed. That's simply not true. It's simply not true. For 12 days, Israel fought a year ago against the Iranian regime before we did. Destroyed its ground-to-air missiles, destroyed its Soviet and / Russian radar systems, destroyed much of its air force, destroyed much of any of its defenses. For 12 days. We went in on the 13th day with our great bombers and those bombs, and we hit those nuclear sites. But Israel has some very, very powerful weapons that it has not used. I don't know this firsthand. Just go online and read about it. It's a secret that's not so secretive. And they've had it for decades. Israel will survive. Period.
Interesting. So Israel had those nukes for decades. You know, I wish somebody would ask him, where did they get the enriched uranium from? Where did they get them? Iran didn't steal its enriched uranium from the United States, just FYI. Only one country between Israel and Iran stole enriched uranium from the United States, and it's not Iran, it's Israel. They stole the enriched uranium to make the bomb. They stole it from us. So, you know, it just keep that in mind. Now, this guy right here, Netanyahu is leaning on him directly to influence the final Iran deal. I mean, this is a Times of Israel article, so that at least the Israeli media is more willing to just state that. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu plans to use pro-Israel senators, right-wing media personalities to influence the final term. It's already happening. So they put this guy to go out and talk about how he's not so happy with Trump. And he says another thing. He says that he's more connected.
That it has not used.
He's more connected to, you know, what's going on with the standard American, and not many people at all are happy about it, because Mark Levin now has access to what the average American actually feels much more than the current administration. That's how he's stating it.
I would just advise those who are in Washington and in a bubble, who go to mostly friendly media, that this is not set well with many patriotic Americans, many Republicans, many conservatives, many people in MAGA, and diehard Trump supporters. It hasn't settled well. I have better access to the public view than most people do.
No.
And I can tell from the past several weeks, it's a victory that you wanted. And when I've been briefed, I've been told basically that we can't achieve it for 4,000 different reasons.
So the good thing is that right now Donald Trump is really happy, and he's been tweeting a lot about the oil markets and about the oil markets, the financial markets, oil prices, how they're tumbling down in financial markets. And because of this, it seems like what he's doing right now is he's kind of diverting and just focusing on that. There was another press conference that Trump gave yesterday where Scott Bessent was behind him, and Trump stated that there's nothing more amazing than the financial markets. There's nothing more amazing than the stock market, because, you know, it gives a perfect reflection of how everybody's feeling, and the oil prices were going down. So you could tell he's constantly now excited about that. He made another post today talking about how oil prices are tumbling, which is good. Honestly, it's better then it's better he focus on that than focus on what these neocons are saying that are basically telling him, hey, keep bombing the hell out of Iran. Now, Tucker Carlson also made a clip earlier today. Tucker Carlson's been having a joyride with it. I've been having a joyride with it too. But Tucker Carlson really, is really taking Trump, kind of taking Trump's word and thinking Trump is sticking to his gun. Let me just quickly play this.
It's appropriate that we release the agreement, and we did send a copy to Israel, by the way.
We sent Israel a copy of the agreement. Well, you sent them a copy, did you? You BCC'd them? We just reached the outline of a peace agreement with the country we are fighting, with Israel, without consulting Israel, bitch. That's exactly what that means. Shh, adults are talking. Yep.
So, I wish I was as optimistic about it as he is. It sounds really nice. I'll finish it because it's funny, though.
At one point, he said, I just think it's just too much. I think going forward, we may leave the fight against Hezbollah to Jelani, who runs Syria. Now, Jelani, of course, is a former Al-Qaeda leader. He's just a more reasonable person. If you're looking for humane treatment of civilians, you got to go to the Al-Qaeda guy, not the Israeli prime minister. That's what the president said. It's unbelievable.
So I do like a lot of Tucker's statements recently, but this one I think he's getting a little bit too. He's getting a bit way too excited. I think about it because at the end of the day, I mean, Trump is still Trump is Israel. Trump is Israel. Here's a moment where the markets were diverging because genuinely the world, we were about to run dry of our reserves. What would happen then if something like that were to happen? How much the United States could simply not afford to keep this going, and the Zionists. These Israelis, they kept pushing for war because they don't care what happens to the United States. He has to care. Trump has to care because that ultimately affects the entire damn country, and things would start to get very expensive very, very soon. So this is a moment where finally the financial markets diverge from the interests of Israel, which I think we should continue to capitalize on. I don't think it's something, I don't think it's, beyond that, how much has Trump left Israel? Not at all, guys, not at all. He's still, fully in lockstep. I think I was reading another article today stating, a news reporter asked him, if Israel was to strike Iran and get struck back, would you defend Israel? He's like, absolutely, I would stand by Israel, defend Israel. Nothing's changing there. You think he's doing anything right now about anything else that Israel's doing, about what it's doing in Gaza, its statements regarding Gaza, how they're basically just ignoring his 20-point plan? You think they're doing anything you think the Trump administration is doing anything regarding the settlements? Absolutely not. They're allowing it. Have they made any statements regarding settler violence? The fact that Christian villages even are totally lit on fire in the West Bank, torched? No, absolutely not. So this idea that all of a sudden things shifted, they didn't, but I think we should continue embellishing and just continue to allow this to happen. Let things unfold the way they are. I think it's great where things are going, but unless there's actual action done behind the words, nothing's really changing. When I said that it all starts to change tune the second that I see there's an actual withholding of weaponry to Israel. If that actually happens, then yeah, things have actually changed. And if he were to do that, Trump's personality, it's one of those things where you could just continue to kind of feed into it, so that way he goes even further and he goes even further. But is that going to happen? I can't see it happening. Again, I think it would be a miracle. All of a sudden now him changing tune to this point and really reeling Israel in this much. I mean, that would be pretty surprising. It would go to show, okay, this financial markets matter to him that much more than Israel does, and he's actually able to put Israel in line. It's just such a hard thing to see, We'll see. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you found this video interesting, I'd appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button as well. It helps me reach more people like you. Also, if you haven't yet, if you see people in the comments with all those fun emojis like the JFK emoji and the censored emoji and everything else, you can use those emojis too if you join as a member. So if you click the join button below, it's next to the subscribe button. It has the star around it. If you click that button now, you can join as a member. You can use those emojis. You also get to comment.
Yeah, that's enough. And then there was me and 3. And I think we potentially might see that, a weapons withhold. I think it might get to the stage where Netanyahu, who has a public figure known as... No?
No. I think we're going to combine our military.
In a what, sorry?
Yeah. We're going to level theirs. That's how you combine it. 1,800 MK-84s. So why are we moving all of our refuelers and all our planes out of Israel now? Remember, they're all sitting there. Nothing to see here. Then why is the 82nd Airborne on the ground in Israel? What are they doing? Are they going to these prisons and rescuing Palestinians? Because, I mean, if you think about it, they're all hanging out in bunkers, right? They're all getting pummeled. So, hold on a second. So, yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like, Trump's like, oh, the markets, right? It's like, oh, markets hit a high, right? That means that we have control of the markets now. Because remember that Kevin Walsh came in, was it yesterday? And he's like, oh, talking about the Fed rates and that, you know, he's still, bullish on the market. He's like, oh, you know, rates can go up. It's like, we don't care about the rates. So Trump's like, I don't care about the economy or anything like that. It's like, I was like, I can't believe he's saying that. It's like, well, do you still sweat over Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny?
Right.
It's all fake. If he has all the gold, then who cares about the economies? Because that's why they're coming to him. They're signing their shit over. Like, they're done. And then you have the whole the other one in there about the EU. They're all standing up and saying, no, we're done. We're done giving anything to Israel. Done. Anything. Because now they're starting to realize that guess who, you know, funded that whole invasion of the EU. That was back in 2014 that Israel and the UN made that deal. So why isn't the UN doing anything about the genocide in Israel? They're like, oh, well, we told them to stop. Don't do it. They go out and kill more. Like, oh, we want world peace. No, you don't. The UN was never created for world peace. It was created for a one world government.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going to be Pax Judaica, because note to self, who helped create the UN? Eleanor Roosevelt. Wow. Just like another Roosevelt that started the FBI, Kermit Roosevelt. So, yeah, I mean, the Roosevelts, man, great people. But Trump put a post a while ago, and he showed the Mount Rushmore, and it was heavily shaded on Teddy Roosevelt. Because, you know, Teddy Roosevelt is recessed back in Mount Rushmore. Like, he's like, and it's so like shading on him. It's like, we know where everything went wrong there. Because it was all, after that, it was just all, you know, then you got Teddy Roosevelt, then you get Woodrow Wilson, and then Hoover, and then just, it's all blackmail.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we got blackmail to go into World War I, we got forced to go into World War II. And now at that dialogue meeting, I don't know what it is, but they're talking about, oh, how to navigate World War III. I thought it's over. You know, now you have Israel throwing a fit because there's a peace treaty signed, but I thought the whole thing was Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. So they don't have a nuclear weapon. That's it. So what was your power play? Well, you can't kill Christians anymore? Oh, boo-hoo. And these people, I mean, heavy on the R and retarded. Because they're just psychopaths. You know, you can't, it just, no. I mean, nah.
Joe, Frank just asked question. Do you think Does Jason think there may be something happening in the World Cup like the sum of all fears? Because obviously that's mentioned in the Q-Drops title a lot. It's building up to some event. Could this be the scare event people are talking about?
I don't think so. I think what this is doing is this is opening the eyes of the world to realize that America's it's the government that's bad. It's not the American people.
Yeah.
It's just like all these other countries. We love all the patriots in all these other countries. We respect their cultures. It's like, but we cannot be a multicultural society and still live in a high trust society. Multiculturalism does not work. It never has worked. It never will work. Because if you look in the UK, you know, it's when you think UK, Britain, Ireland, I think white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, you know, they're real nice people, but the government. Then you look at all these other places. I mean, you have to look at all the countries in Europe and how they're all sold out by the Schengen area and the whole EU, where they literally stripped them all of their sovereignty. So you don't need visas to go, you know, they literally tore apart your culture, your borders. Like now you're starting to see a lot of these countries in Europe rise up and say, hey, no, we want them all out of here. And that's what they voted on. They voted on, they said, we want all these illegals out of here. And that was the best vote ever. It just happened, yesterday or the day before? I mean, they're on top of it. They're like, hey, we want some repatriation, you know, remigration, however you want to call it, get rid of them. Because all they're doing is that they're going after your women and children.
Right.
And if we're not going to protect the women and children, then why are we even doing this? You know, there's no point. But it had to get to this point, sadly to say, for everybody to see who the baddies are.
Can't tell the people the truth. You must show them.
Yep. And I think, honestly, what I think needs to be declassified are the Holocaust documents. Yeah. Why are they why are all the Holocaust documents, and they say, oh, yeah, no. We're talking about the real documents. We're talking about the ones they classified for 100 years. Why would you classify those for 100 years?
Well, just like they wanted to classify the ingredients and all the information in the jab for 75 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Why do you have to why do you have to classify anything? Yeah.
If it's transparency, if you throw yourself out, oh yeah, this is good, you know, it's like, and then when they opening up the insides of the jab and all the packets and everything, it was all
on the insert. Yeah, there's nothing there. I think there was a little bit in the middle of it when it said this insert is left blank on purpose or something. Yeah. See, that's the thing. If doctors are giving this to people without informed consent, which they are not, because there's no information on the insert, so therefore the doctor doesn't know what's in it either. There's a lot of people going to be...
Because you can't get more absurd than that. Nobody said there's nothing written here and you don't know what it is and why am I putting it into my body? They just stood there and put out their arms.
That's what fear does. That's what fear does of the tell lie vision.
Yep. And then you saw, you know, oh, Ebola and all these, and people are like, nah.
Yeah.
Because they're still talking about COVID boosters. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I mean, hantavirus and all this stuff. There was a little video, wasn't there, of a doctor walking about, you know, one of these people all dressed up with the rubber gloves on and stuff down in the Congo, I think, and all the people got the raging hump and chased him out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, people are waking up all around the world. So we're not doing it anymore.
People are waking up, but sorry, guys, my cats are flipping out. But they're still knuckleheads.
Yeah.
They're still complete knuckleheads. And, you know, part of them are in my extended family who are getting freaking 4,000 boosters still.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, you know, in the end, I just hope that, you know, everybody took these shots and all that. It's like if there's a mode to like reverse it. Because, I mean, if we're all under this spell, and I was watching this video last night while I was laying in bed, and Dina was asleep, and it was a morgue video that came out like yesterday, and it put a whole new spin on everything.
Yeah.
Like, what if God were to forgive Satan? What would that do? Makes you really think about things too. Because it's like, if it's all light, but then 46% gone forever, it's like, yeah, you guys, we've had 2,000 years for this whole covenant. It's like, that's why they were never supposed to have a land. You know, people without a land, land without people, because they never held up their part of the covenant. You know, when Christ was the last sacrifice, that means that ended all animal sacrifices across the board. But you have all these different religions. It's like, well, what are they doing? Like the Hindus, and it's all about destruction, and it's like that's why the Hindus and the Jews get together so well, because it's all about destruction. You know, it's not about love, light, nothing like that. But yeah, so it's, you know, if God forgives all, then, I mean, I understand the whole love and light, but
say God forgave Satan. Would that mean all his minions and everyone that been doing the work of Satan would also be forgiven if in that moment?
See, and that's the thing that really, I mean,
maybe 4 to 6% lost forever is the cabal, and they're out of here. You know, it's not the people that won't wake up.
Maybe, because that's so true. Because if we are raising the vibration, if there's things that are happening to the earth that's raising, why would good people be lost? Because they just haven't caught up yet. You know, they're not bad or evil. They're just brainwashed and you know, MK Ultra and everything. But yes, maybe it's those fuckers that are lost forever.
The ones that took the jab. Because the ones that took the bad jab, the ones that was polluted. Because if they were using, you know, the whole God, what was it? God, we talked about that. What was it? What the fuck was it? What the fuck was it? That we compared Bill Gates to a mythological creature. It was, oh man, what the hell was his name? Because it all to do with injections, with vaccines, with poisoning, you know, pretty much like poisoning the well. Because Gates is a Rockefeller. I mean, that's without saying. But then they said there's only one left. That's Bill Gates. Out of that whole, they had a picture of like Ted Turner, Bill Gates' dad, which I think Bill Gates, the second and the third, is probably the same person. They're just, you know,
could be, yeah,
re-upping. And then that's why the whole, you know, the Epstein files, when Israel said, oh, well, then if Trump doesn't want to play bus, then we'll release all the Epstein files that he's in. It's like, joke's on you. We took it off the first term, so that's all fake. Because now they want to release it. It's like, why? Because of AI, right? What, they have AI videos of Trump doing things with kids? It's like, try it.
Right.
Go ahead. That's how you're going to get leveled.
Hey, what do you think about this idea? And I don't know who floated it or where I heard it, you know, but like when the jab first came out, and they said that it was actually not going to harm humans, but it could potentially be the destruction of bloodlines or reptilian or whatever the hell, the evil. And so maybe that's
what's
happening.
Yeah, and then
I mean, there was 5D chess trying to show a lot of things at once, right? So do we have people that were actors falling over to wake people up? Yeah, probably. Do we have, but it's very interesting that might be the 4 to 6 lost.
Well, I think there was multiple different vaccines went out, wasn't there? And, in that Devolve series, the military was working on something behind the scenes for years before that. And
that was the Sputnik 5. That's why Trump said in his post that 5 years out of schedule. Speed accelerated +5. Why would he say that in 2020 about a vaccine 5 years ahead of schedule when COVID-19 came out that year, supposedly?
Yeah.
So then we look back at 2015 when we said that God went on the outside and everything starting from 2015 on, how everybody's, coming back. Now you see where Trump's like, hey, I want people to stop dying. But he's not sweating all. He's like, hey, man, just cut the shit out, And so you would think that he'd be like, hey, what the hell are they kill these people for? Everything like that. It's like, and they're like, oh, he shows himself as Christ and all this. And he's like, yeah, what if we can't bring people back to life? It's like,
oh my God, that was the craziest.
Listen, I don't think anything's impossible.
I'm down crazy.
Do you? I don't think anything is impossible at this point with what we've seen unfold over the last 10 years.
But what I'm saying is it was publicly said, like, we're looking at it like, okay, yeah, but that's a crazy thing to say to the abnormies. I mean, if they're paying attention.
Yeah. And then you have with Xi and Putin. Remember, they were talking about life extension technologies to live forever. They're caught on a hot mic. Yeah, hot mic, right?
Right.
Yeah, you might want to get on this one. So it just, they're literally like telling us what's going on. But, I mean, and then the whole, they wanted the keys to the kingdom and we said no, right? So what would the keys to the kingdom be? Right? You have your public infrastructure keys, your root keys and all that. Well, that would all fall under intelligence. And who wanted the keys to the kingdom? Oh, now you start to see Israel wanting to piggyback off the U.S. military, and we'll take control. It's like, it's all part of the whole no-eye laws, guys. It's all it's about. And they're about to get stung like no other.
Eradicated.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we watched this video yesterday, and it was about the 5 good emperors, and it popped up on YouTube, the algorithm. I watched them, I'm like, oh, yes. And then I looked at comments. It was all, we need another Hadrian. Man, Hadrian, it's like. It was a great cartoon type deal. But it was, yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, if we've been lied to about everything, we've been lied to about ourselves, too. How powerful we are. It's like, if you get us all together.
She's having a.
Yep.
She's having a. What you done?
No, I thought I lost you guys for good, and I had to sign back in, but I didn't. I just hit something by accident. My cats were freaking out to eat. No, you're absolutely right, Jason, about the lot. Like something that really stuck out to me in the last few weeks was when we had Dr. Darrell Wolf on, and he just talks about this whole thing about self-love and the power of it. And it's the root of all our problems, not loving ourselves enough. Okay, now, whether you believe it or you don't believe it, I'm sorry, what's her name again? The video that you've been sharing?
I can play that, and whatever anyone thinks about her or not, Elizabeth April, I think this is one of the most important videos. It's about a 40-minute podcast she did, but I clipped 3 minutes out of it. And so, it's amazing because what she says, you want me to play it, or do you want?
I want you to play it. But what we're leading to is what you said, Jason, about being lied to. And one of the biggest lies or omissions that has happened, or trying to get us not to, is self-love. Whether it's the church, religions, we're evil, we're born with sin, the guilt issues, right? It's all aimed at us not loving ourselves. And then you get a guy like Darrell Wolfe who talks about ailments in the body, and it all can be eradicated with self-love. And think of your vibration when how many people can't look in a mirror and say, I love you? They can't even do that. But when you get over that and you start doing it, you could literally feel your body feel differently. So that leads me to this video. Now, again, whether you believe her, you don't believe her, it's really not important. It's just very interesting what she says.
Yeah.
Hey, as I see it, I mean, I'll take anything that's actually love light at this point, because when you think about it, it's like, people are out there trying to put stuff out to help improve yourself. It's like we have to get the information from anywhere, and then we have to use our discernment. So it's people like this that pop up on your feed, and you're like, hey, I'll check it out. And then it's like, why were you drawn to this in the first place? You were drawn to this because you had to see us to share it to others.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Exactly. Well, what's this? 3 minutes.
It's going to happen in our lifetime. I literally just don't know when. It's like the golden frequency infused into the core, coming outward, across the entire planet. It's like, it's interesting because usually source frequency, God frequency, comes in through the crown chakra. It looks white. This is so different. It's coming up through the ground, through our base root chakra and up our systems. And he said, that's interesting. He didn't say there's going to be a moment of great judgment. He didn't say that. That's sort of the implication that I'm getting. It's going to be a moment of judgment. I'm just going to use those words, okay? But he said, so I said, how is that going to happen? Everyone's going to be infused with this Christ conscious energy. And he said there's going to be a moment of choice, essentially. And the choice is going to come down to, and this is fascinating. This is what it is. I don't know why it made me cry. Don't make me cry. It's like the choice or the judgment, when this energy comes through, it's not how good of a person are you. It's not how much you love humanity. It's not how much unity you want for the world. It's not how much spiritual you are, how much you read the Bible, how much you pray, how much you believe in aliens. It's fucking none of that. It comes down to how much do you love yourself? And he said that everyone right now on the planet who is diving into this darkness, who is gaslighting others, who is becoming narcissistic or completely removed from the objective truth of reality, the people who are angry and spiteful and corrupt and narcissistic and projecting, I think we can all think of at least one of those people in our life. We know this, but he's saying that it has nothing to do with anyone else. Those people are being confronted with how much they love themselves or how much they don't love themselves. And they are taking that inner hatred and fear and judgment, and they are projecting it onto anyone and anything else in order to justify the lack of unconditional love they have for themselves.
Well, I will say that every narcissist I have ever known, as despicable and as much as they put themselves like above everything, They really do hate themselves. They do.
Yeah.
If you listen to them speak, if you watch their lives, so if you think about it, what are we doing when we don't love ourselves? If we're made in the image of God and we're created and God is in us, like Jesus basically told us, it's inside, we're not loving God.
Exactly. Yeah. I wrote that down. If you don't love yourself, you don't love our creator. Because we're all made in the creator's image. We're all set here. Because remember, if we're all fractals of the creator, we're all here to experience, a materialistic world, under God. But then it's like Christ came back and said, hey, don't stay too pinned to the materialistic shit, guys. Remember, you're still a fractal of God. Do good, be good, It's like, because if you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. It's impossible.
Yeah, no, exactly right. Yeah. I mean, I showed Elisa that video the other day, and we sort of had a moment, and then she came out with that line, and we both just went, yeah, it's exactly right. If you're not loving yourself,
and we've been taught not to love ourselves because why? Because we're really not supposed to have a relationship and connect and realize that we're part of God. That's the whole thing they've been trying to do, right?
Yep. And that's why they stress, like, when God's chosen decides to pull out, self-love, and what do? They go straight to like masturbation, dildos, this, that. It's like, guys, it's not.
Or it's indulgence. It's not even non-sexual. It's just like, well, put yourself first. Well, go like it. That has nothing to do with it because you're still doing something out of anger or getting back at someone or putting, service to self rather than service to others. But it is someone, I don't know who it was. It flashed so fast. Someone in the chat said it's very hard to be angry when you love yourself.
Oh, I'm not.
It
and me, I'm not. I'm saying people like, oh man, no. Hey, the chips are gonna fall where they may in the end.
Yeah.
All we're doing is we're just putting out all the stuff on them, so when they disappear and everybody's like, well, now you see why.
Yeah.
Because they didn't love themselves at all, and all they did was spread hatred and all the 7 deadly sins cast them on everybody else. For the whole tikkun olam, so that we all just succumb to the whole. So we're stuck here with Satan. Like, no, we'll pass. We'll pass. You ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here. Because you ain't got a home. But hey, remember, they want to make us slaves. And it would be a shame if a certain group of entities came back and said, hey, what is that slavery we promised? It's like, coming right up, sir. There you go.
Wouldn't that be a boomerang of beauty?
Yep. 4 to 6% gone forever. Let them go be their slaves. Since they want to make our life a hell for over 2,000 years, 3,000 years, it's like they never learned. It's like you can't take a group and expect them to love themselves when you gave them ample amount of time. 2,000 years.
If you get kicked out of a country, right, and then you go and regroup and try it in another country, and then you get kicked out of there, and then you do it again and again and again. This is why, isn't it? This long revealer, this Q operation is to get them all so that they can never regroup again.
Yep.
And it's, not just one race, it's all their minions of other people and other races and people they've brought in and all these sorts of things. It's the whole caboodle of this cabal. Anyone on the wrong side. Now, I believe some people might have made some mistakes in this, volunteered in a vaccine centre because they thought they were doing the right thing. You might get a bit of leeway and stuff like that. But anyone who's mindful of what they've been doing to the detriment of other human beings,
Knowingly.
Yes, exactly. That's the word.
And it's like people that go to church, right? We talk about that. There are people that go to church. Yeah, the church establishment could be bad, but the people that are going to church, they're not bad. They're believing that they're doing the right thing. So in their heart, they love God and everything like this. It's like, but that whole trust factor that, you know, they go and it's like a blind trust. And it's like, well, you know, and then you have like the whole confession, right? It's like, why do you have to confess to another person about your sins? Like, that's between you and God. That's the whole, you know, if you have a problem, if you don't love yourself, then you need to set some time, go sit over there, and you have your time. Hey, everybody has their time with God. Nobody's saying anything bad about it. You have to have that time that you can sit there and just and it's not so much you're talking to God, but even if you're talking to yourself, you're trying to, you know, parse through the bullshit and the lies and everything like that. And, you know, I catch myself talking to myself a lot. And you have to. Because if you just sit here and think it's like, yeah, that sounds good. It's like, but let me sound this out to make sure it doesn't sound stupid. And there have been plenty of times I'm like, yeah, that sounds stupid. And just scrap it. But, you know, we have to be, you know, it's really hard saying, because a lot of these entities here, they ain't real. And now with Elon giving all the veterans that can't see all those, well, Meta did, with all the glasses that'll help veterans see, but they're able to see different wavelengths, right? So it's almost as if, well, isn't that like the glasses in They Live?
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're seeing outside your frequency.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, now we don't need the glasses because we see the frequencies are being broken down, and we're starting to see, you know, people just wither away. Or you start to see like a lot of, you know, the eyes are window of the soul. If they go slit, nope. You don't want no part of that. And could there be good ones here? Like, you know, David Icke? Because, I mean, there are good ones there's good and bad with everything. There's ones that want to get out of it. I mean, I was even watching this one with Jose Yu, and this one, Jewish guy, he got out of like everything. And listening to him and talking about the Talmud and everything like that, it's like, guys, there's no Torah. The Torah is just, it's an introduction. Everything runs through the Babylonian Talmud. Everything. All their laws. That's why, oh, yeah, we could rape anybody at 3. It's like, if that's your religion, that you could rape and sodomize children under the age of 3, then you have zero right to even exist. Because you're abusing children, and you're supposed to be in a place of trust, a high place of trust. Well, that eroded the trust all across. So now they keep on bringing these rabbis in, saying, oh, boy, you have to do this. It's like they're over there humping a wall, swinging chickens, thinking, oh, that's their salvation. It's like the whole Judaism as a whole has to go bye-bye. I think all these religions have to go bye-bye, because all they did was create division.
Division and self-hate. Like, look at the Catholic religion. You're born a sinner.
Yeah.
A little baby is born a sinner. So I have to take away original sin, right? And then everything you do is a sin. And then you have to, like you said, you have to go to a priest, because you can't just find forgiveness and heal yourself through your direct connection with the divine.
Yep.
And if you don't, then supposedly when you go to church and you're participating in the Eucharist, right? And you can't do that because you didn't go to a priest to get some kind of penance. It's so stupid when you break it down.
Yeah, it's childish. It's like, well, why? So you're saying, oh, these people are good. These people can have it, but those people, yeah. It's like, not a house of love.
There is good people stuck in every religion, right, that have been hoodwinked, isn't there? And they are going to have a terrible time when they find out it's this that it just makes sense to the full picture, and the truth would put 99% of people in the hospital. That is just, that drop makes so much sense that it doesn't, in the Jewish, Christian faith, Muslims and stuff, there's good people in all of these, right? When they find out what they were part of,
Yeah.
Well, not only what they were part of, but just because they might not have done something, like, it's more about, who am I?
Yeah.
I lived my whole life doing something, and now I'm finding something out, and I don't know what my identity is.
Potentially worshipping the exact opposite of what I thought I was worshipping.
Yeah, but the thing is that their intention was good.
Yes.
They're worshiping God, right? Not any other That's why Trump's like, hey, it's all to God, because there is an all, the all. But from there, it's like, if you like the presidency, right? You've got God, but then you have to have a branch out. I mean, even though God's omniscient and everywhere, it's like you can't be everywhere at all times. So then you have the divine nine that comes into play. Because if they're messing with the archons, then who are we messing with? Because it's not like we're not getting divinely led, because if they're using all this evil and we're winning this one, then who's guiding us? Anything less than 10, you have the divine nine. You have, 3 are non-military. So you can't count Trump, because Trump's commander-in-chief. And we know he's military. So, and then you have Admiral Rogers. You've got probably Flynn. I mean, this is a lot bigger than anybody could have ever thought, but why not think big?
Yeah.
I mean, we're thinking of ourselves as being just peons in like some snow globe that go to work, and then you come home, you spend a few hours at a time with your family, and then, you got to go to sleep and you got to get up and do it again. You just keep on slaving away. Like, that's not what we were created for. But we're not creating anything with that. We're just going along to get along. It's like, if you really let humanity, like, if you have it unleashed with creativity, look what some of the people are doing now. You got that black kid down in Georgia that created that biofuel using plastic. That's it. It's like, somebody make sure that kid's protected. And that just goes to show it's not, when people are like, oh, racist. It's like, no, we just don't like the ones that are ruining society as a whole. I'm not saying take them all out, because there's a lot of good in everything. There's a lot of bad white people too, that we can just throw in these camps and say, hey, let the military re-educate them. And if they can't be, then Liberia was given to them in 1866, 1867 for the whole slavery thing. It's like, well, then let them, if they want to go, then you could go back. Go ahead. Because now, after this whole Austin Metcalf thing, you're like, oh, well, we need to just go back to Africa. It's like, nobody said you couldn't. That's the best part about freedom, isn't it? But yet they sit here and think, oh, well, we've been, oppressed. Where we've all been oppressed.
That's right. If you're a human being, you've been oppressed and made a slave, period.
Because we don't have our full functionality. All we have is what they gave us. And then make it work. What if we don't want to make it work anymore? What if we all just stand up and say, yeah, no, we're not going to do this anymore. What's next? And that's what they're having us do. It's like, hey, once people start awakening to all this, I mean, when they say nothing can stop what's coming, it's like the sky event. You have to look at the sun and all the solar storms, the CMEs. I mean, it's a lot, but the frequencies are completely changing on the earth.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why they're so paranoid. because they can't tolerate it. That's why they're false flag this, that. But blessed are the peacemakers. And
Yeah.
like Reagan said, you know, if you can't make them see the light, you make them feel the heat. And that's what he did. Trump did when he gave that whole Sabbath thing. He's like, hey, we're giving them their Sabbath first, and then we're rededicating America to God on the following Sunday. So we don't do the dedication to God and say, hey, yeah. And they're like, oh, yeah, you know, and then they go and then we do the Sabbath afterwards, like, yes, we've got them. No, we gave it to them first. So they made their decision on that. Then everybody rededicated to God. False after that.
Yeah, definitely. It's just interesting what you said about that kid and stuff, because Toyota was introduced, not invented, claiming to be a water-powered car engine, and that was yesterday, I think.
Wow.
So, in a move designed to shout the global automotive industry, Toyota has just unveiled a water-powered hydrogen engine produced by electrolysis, and it only emits steam, no lithium, no charging stations, nothing but pure revolution. Now, you know, many of us have been talking about the electric car industry and Elon and stuff. In fact, potentially that was even pushed out there into the public to show people that it actually didn't work and how this Green New scam worldwide was a thing. And they've been working on these hydrogen cars ever since. And Trump and Elon have both mentioned flying cars in the last year, you know, with smirks on their faces.
Oh, yeah. And then you look like all these innovations, and then because anybody that would have invented that, what happens? They end up dead, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And now you have Toyota, which is based in Japan. So we literally decimated Japan in World War II. And now when you look at it, it's like fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And then you look and see what happens when you like keep your nose in your own business, you know, just like China. It was like, oh, screw China. It's like, China's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, some of the things that their technologies surpass us by far.
I've watched
that we know of.
I've watched two people put videos out over like the last 6 months about going into a Chinese hospital to get seen by a doctor, check in, get a prescription, everything. They're there about 20, 30 minutes. They get great care. They're not members. They don't pay insurance. They just walk in and they're paying about $3.
Yep.
You know, something like this. We've been lied to about China. We've been lied to about everywhere.
Yep. Just like Europe. They had to have the Europeans come over here and say, hey, you know, America's actually great. They're all friendly and all that because instantly they think, oh, America's bad. All the people want you all dead. It's like, none of us said that at all. No, none of us.
Yeah.
None of us. And in fact, I mean, honestly, I would even say that if a bunch of Brits and Scots and Irish and all that, if they want to come over and settle here and become Americans, I'm all for that.
Well, I'm up for it.
I'm 100, because the more and more I watch a lot of these Europeans, like the Brits that are in America and all that, and there's a lot of them, and they're on there saying, hey, you know, because I don't know if you heard the big thing about the World Cup, right? The airports are having a little bit of problem in carry-ons. Seems like everybody's trying to take home ranch dressing, right? So they have to put up signs to say, hey, if you have ranch dressing, put it in your, don't put it in your carry-on, put it in your suitcase. Because I mean, they're like, what is this? It's like, guys, don't get too attached to the American food, guys. Because just we want your food.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, yeah, the food's great, but you start seeing, wow, we have an obesity problem and all these other problems. It's like, yeah, you're starting to catch on now.
Well, you got a lot more ingredients in your stuff over there than we have over here.
Yeah, thousands.
Poison.
Yeah, in the same packet, so a packet of cornflakes, breakfast cereal or something like that, over here and over there, if it's the same product, you've got many more ingredients in it that obviously don't need to be there.
Well, don't you want to totally make sick and dumb down a population that has guns?
And then let Israel come over and say, hey, we're going to go ahead and take over the military. And it's like, once again, you have $8 billion and you got $20 million.
I'll tell you what, if there was ever United Nations boots on the ground in America, right, the good old boys would be out there.
It would never happen.
No.
That's the thing.
Right, so they had to infiltrate us, get us full of fluoride and chemicals, and always at the doctor and sick. That was their response.
Yeah. And then they think that, oh, well, we'll just stick the U.S. military on the populace. It's like the U.S. military, they're not going to go against the people. Because that's who they're protecting.
No.
Like, because it all goes back to one group.
Have you seen
the military? That's Marine Corps. Marine Corps has never failed an audit.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, I've got great little good old boys video here for you. This will make you laugh, being Yankees. I love this.
United States of America, most powerful country on this planet. And it's not because we have more money or we're better looking. No. It's because we have something in this country they don't have in other countries. That's right. I'm talking about rednecks. Good old boys with an arsenal in their basement that have been waiting for just such an occasion since 1775. Oh, believe me, foreign troops land in the South, there'll be a line of pickup trucks and NASCARs heading down I-95. Marines will show up 3 hours later, nothing but beer cans and shotgun shells. What the hell happened here? War's over, baby!
Woo! Man. That is spot on.
Yep.
Spot on. It's like they just don't get it. It's like, look, they think that with this big of a populace and having a Second Amendment, that everybody's just going around gunning people down. It's like, no. I mean, look in England. They let the Sikh, these people are sick, S-I-K-H, walk around blades, ceremonial knives. For what ceremony exactly?
Yeah.
But then I saw a video. They just made me fucking sick to my stomach. The guy died. But they tased this elderly man in a nursing home because he had a paring knife in his hand. And he's in a wheelchair. And they tased him. He ended up dying.
Yeah.
It's like.
Well, I mean, what they've been looking for the last 10, 20, 30 years is that they've been recruiting people into the police force that have psychopathic tendencies and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Boots on the face and all this sorts of stuff that just take orders and have got no humanity in them and compassion. I'm not talking about all of them, obviously, but a certain type of individual that will follow orders, and it's shocking. I mean, some of the things that are going on over here at the moment. Did you hear that story that I only heard it was this morning, that they haven't released the name of the man who's done it yet?
Yeah.
Right? Threw a fucking 3-year-old young boy into a crocodile enclosure in the zoo. Can you imagine?
Yeah, and then they said that he's too mentally unstable to be questioned by the police. So they let him go. It's like,
yeah.
Whoa. And then the owner of the zoo actually jumped over the fence to try to get the kid. It's like, what the? The shit wasn't going on when they weren't there. Nobody's throwing 3-year-olds over crocodile enclosures 20, 30 years ago.
Nah.
We just need them all eradicated just to save civilization. Because if they've been swiping our kids the entire time, I mean, how many generations have they literally removed?
Yeah. It's true.
I mean, you think about it, what was it? Let me see. Where's that paper? It's somewhere here. This is, yeah. 250,000 girls raped in the UK in 15 years. And they're not like, I mean, I can't. I mean, you literally damaged the women so they can't have children.
Right.
So, calling me surprised to see who would be responsible for that. Remember, Trump said that, oh, yeah, they're letting everybody out of the prisons and all this, the rapists. Well, who's doing it? It's Israel doing it. Because why would they be in cahoots with the UN about migration when everybody knows you can't have international migration?
Yeah.
You can only go one country over. That's it. And Canada's not a problem. Mexico's not a problem. So why is anybody here?
Yeah, exactly. But it's waking the people up.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't tell them. You must show them. I still think that's the most pointed line in the Q drops for me. I say it all the time. It's, we see it every single day. Something bad happens. I don't celebrate it, but I think this is going to accelerate the awakening a little bit more and a little bit more.
Oh, and not to mention you had Henry Nowak. That was, and then the one guy they damn near beheaded in the streets, and was it Scotland?
Yeah,
Scotland, Ireland.
I mean, if that's true, he gouged his eyes out first. He was sitting on his face, and that fellow had learning disabilities.
And the guy actually helped the one that tried to behead him a couple of days earlier, moving into his flat.
Yeah, exactly.
So see, it just shows. It's like no matter how much you want to be a good person to everybody else, they're not good people. Their culture does not have anything to do with ours. You need to get rid of them all. I'm not saying you just send them home, but if they committed crimes, you execute them.
Yeah.
Because if you just they're like, oh yeah, Ilhan Omar, deport her. It's like, no, you execute that bitch. That's treason.
Yeah.
And all this money going to Somaliland, and then look what happens this week. Israel's the first nation to have Somaliland come in to their country, and they raise the Somaliland flag. It's like, wow. So where'd all that money from Minnesota and everywhere else go, and Ohio, and
yeah, exactly.
Because why would they want Somaliland, right? Because the Jews are trying to take over shipping too.
Yeah.
Because Somaliland would be right there, right by the entrance of the Red Sea.
Yeah.
So they would be like, oh, we're going to charge tolls. I'm like, hey, there's no tolls being charged at the Strait of Hormuz. So that knocks out Lloyd's of London. That screws all them. Because why were the barrels of oil so high? Probably because of the tolls they had to pay.
A beautiful dismantling of the old guard.
All of it.
Have you seen that vid? What if Trump is not a clown? Did you see that one?
No.
Hold up. Let me try and find this because maybe talk for a minute because I did post this quite a while ago.
That's a good one. That's a good video.
There's some of these videos coming out. They're like, wow.
I know.
It's like, and the thing is, the best part is that we never said that, oh yeah, we learned it all. No. Oh. I think it's still scratching the surface here. Because if 80% is covert and 20% is public.
Right.
Well, we need a lot more paper and bins.
Now, did you hear about a executive order being signed for the release of like a couple of thousand patents, medical and technological?
Yeah, that was last week.
Last week. That should be interesting.
Because the thing, a lot of when you go on the whitehouse.gov and you go under like briefings and proclamations and all that, that's where the good stuff is. Because he doesn't have to report any of that. You go in there and start looking through those. That's where we found that, because Israel's like, oh, we're gonna take on Turkey and Egypt. It's like, you might want to look at 10/13/2025 at what Trump signed with Turkey, Egypt, Qatar, the UAE. Hey, you might want to read that first, because that's pretty much like the Egyptian Hittite Treaty. That was the first recorded treaty throughout history. You know, that was Ramses II. Well, because the Egyptian Hittites, the Hittites were the Turks.
Okay.
So you're literally you're sealing all the deals. So now when they turn around, it's like, hey, we're going to go ahead and go after Turkey. It's like, but we're sided with Turkey.
Yeah.
And Egypt.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, it's so good.
Yeah, right. Watch this video. It's a couple of minutes long, but this was amazing. This was from about a month ago.
Right.
What if I told you Trump might not be an idiot, not a clown, not even reckless, but the only guy in the room who already knows how this ends? And by the end of this, you might start seeing it too. Look at what he's doing. Fighting Iran, pushing NATO, picking fights with everyone. Canada, Mexico, Europe. It looks messy. It looks stupid, like everything's falling apart, right? Good, because that's exactly how it's supposed to look. Right now, the entire world runs on Middle East oil. Japan, around 75%. India, about 60%. China, nearly half. Europe, deep in it. And most of that oil moves through one place, the Strait of Hormuz. And yeah, this isn't small. Around 20% of the world's oil flows through that one choke point. So think about this. What happens if that just stops? No warning, no backup, just gone. Prices spike, markets panic, supply chains start snapping. Countries don't just struggle, they start making desperate decisions. But here's what most people miss. Oil isn't rare, it's just controlled. The biggest reserves? Venezuela, Canada, the United States. So now think carefully. If the Middle East goes dark, where does the entire world turn? North America. And that's where it gets uncomfortable. Because who's holding US debt? China, Japan, Europe. The same countries that would suddenly need American energy just to keep running. So what do? Walk away from the dollar and lose access to energy, or stay locked in because they have no choice. And now here's the part nobody talks about. What if looking chaotic, what if looking like a clown is exactly what keeps everyone distracted? What if losing the war is how you win control? So tell me, is he just a buffoon, or are we watching the setup of the biggest economic trap ever played? Wait, what if this was the plan all along?
That's a great video.
Yeah.
That's an excellent video. It's like we've been saying. It's like they like their order out of chaos, but we're doing everything by the letter of the law.
Yeah. That's why Trump has tweeted law and order so many times.
It's almost as if that's a big shiny red balls. Iran and all this, while they're all doing all these other arrests and deporting a bunch of people, everybody's like, oh, Iran. It's like, throw that over there. Let them go watch that. It's like everything he does. That's why, people like, some of the things he says, it's like, no, that's not for you. It's for all of us.
Yeah, exactly.
I still have to watch that Q&A he had at the G7. It's like over an hour long. We'll probably watch it Sunday. It's like over an hour long. And at the end, he started, Peter, what's his last name? Peter Ducey asked a question about Israel. The last question. It's pretty funny because you see Lutnick over there laughing about stuff. And then when that comes up, oh, wow. Our faces turn sour. Huh? And then that's when, and then the next interview, that's when he was on his way to Versailles. He was on the tarmac. He's like, yeah, Peter, yeah. Hey, you shot your load that last question, huh? It's like, oh yeah, he did. Because it made everybody like, whoa, is this it? And he's like, Israel, they need to do better. You know, it's like, there ain't no doing better. It's like, you're never going to make them happy. They're sitting over there saying, oh, they want to rape Ivanka and shit. I mean, they're actually putting this out. It's like, what is wrong with you? You guys said you didn't want, Iran couldn't have a nuclear weapon, right? They want peace. Well, then there you go. What do you need? Oh, it's not enough? Oh, you still got to go out and kill a bunch of Christians? Oh, well, that's not going to work for us. That's when Trump's like, yeah, we'll just have, you know, Syria take care of it because, you know, ISIS is a lot less bloodthirsty than the IDF. I didn't say that again.
Yeah.
But you never see ISIS or Al-Qaeda attack Israel.
No. Funny that.
So what if he's doing this on purpose? Just say, okay, yeah, we put him in there and, you know, because al-Assad, we need to get him out of there because, you know, oh, he was bad. What was he bad for? He was good for his people. That's the thing. We're told that, oh, he's over there killing his people. And then you see Lindsey Graham and all them over there making all these deals with all these fucking, like all these terrorist sects. It's like, well, where'd they all come from? Israel. That's why, we need Israel. We need Israel. Why? Because, oh, well, if we don't have them, then we can't stop terrorism. Well, who created terrorism in the first place?
Yeah, exactly.
They did. So if you get rid of them, we don't have any more terrorism. Because this isn't how people act. Normal, rational people do not go on killing sprees and say, oh, we want all these people dead.
No, exactly.
Jason, do you have the link for the video you were just talking about that you said you're going to watch on Sunday? Someone in the chat asked.
Yeah, let me pull it up. Let me see.
Yes, excellent. Right, I just want to say, in the meantime, we have missed. It's an absolutely brilliant show today. I have missed a few questions. Now, I have asked people to type in capital letters before, but you don't need to do that. If you put a question mark at the end of your question, it automatically appears up in StreamYard with a little question mark on it, so we can actually see it. And then if I just star those, it all goes into a separate box. So I've learned how to do that now. So if you ask a question, put a question mark on it. And Carol said earlier, Elisa, have you just gone? Elisa? Oh, she has gone. Oh, well, anyway.
No, sorry, I had to step away for a second.
Oh, right, that's okay. Carol said earlier, Elisa,
yes.
I can do a whole show on self-love if you like. And I did respond to it for both of us. We'd love that. You were speaking for both of us.
Yeah.
So that is something we'd like to do in the future, Carol. If you want to come on with us again, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, we'll arrange it the time.
Yeah. Well, I've got that link. Join the private chat. That's excellent. Nice one. Thank you.
Yeah, it's like an hour 9.
Okay. And what's it called? Just because if I put in the chat, they'll know what it is.
Oh, it's the G7 Q&A.
G7 Q&A.
Yeah, if you just put in 2026 G7 Q&A Trump, and it brings it up.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's cool. We can put all those links in the description anyway, can't we? In the permanent comments, I've actually learned they're called. So, yeah, I will do that. I've got them all up here anyway. So, brilliant. Right, at least you've got to get off, have you?
I do.
But do you know what? That has been an amazing show today. That 3 hours has flown, hasn't it? A lot of laughter, some good stuff in there. And I really do think we're really getting into the thick of this now. It can't keep going on and on and on. And we're seeing it unfold before our eyes, aren't we? What a beautiful time to be alive. Yeah?
That's it. That's why a lot of this, it's like now we're just watching the fruits of our labors come to life.
Yes.
You know, that's why a lot of us, we'll bring up videos now and all this. It's like we're just reiterating what we've been saying the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Yeah. It's funny how old videos keep coming up again, isn't it? And because an old video from 8 years ago all of a sudden is perfectly current. Yeah.
Case in point, that Winston versus Oceana. That one is when you watch that, you're just gonna be floored. because we wrote down all the people, we went through all the judges and everything, and they're all against Trump.
Yeah. I've already got that saved in my Telegram. So, yeah, I shall put all those links in the permanent comments under this. Amazing. Have you got a show later, Joe, or anything?
Sunday.
Yep. Brilliant. All right. Well, I shall try and get in there in the chat, and absolutely wonderful. Thanks for coming on, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks, yeah?
You got it.
Yeah. All right. And lots of love to Dina. Happy to have her back.
Yeah, it's lovely that she's back home with you, so that's amazing.
Yeah. And
all right, everyone.
Wait a second. Hold on a second. Ooh. So our next show is on 7/3, which is a 6-year delta from when he was at Mount Rushmore, the fireworks.
Right. Wow.
This is going to be awesome. It's great.
Love it. Where we go, when we go, all guys. Thank you, everyone in the chat. That's been amazing. There's been so many comments there. It's going to take me a long time to go back and read through all those. But Jenny will have recorded all those for us and be emailing those over in not too distant future. So thanks, Jay. Love you.
Thank you.
Love you guys.
Right.
Bye, Jason.
Love you guys. Bye, guys.
See you later. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
This is the difference between the power of our Creator and anything else, particularly evil. That you can go into a pitch black room full of evil, full of darkness, and light a little candle, and instantly that darkness flees. But you can't do the opposite. You can't go into a well-lit room full of truth and wisdom and righteousness and joy and health and harmony with the universal power. And you can't take any amount of darkness and go into that well-lit room and have any effect whatsoever. That is the metaphor which I frequently think of when I think that I'm not empowered. It is the greatest lesson for me, and I think for everybody else, to know that we're on the winning side and that we win in the end.